You sound great
stream
now.
instead of recording. Okay, I guess we're not doing a mic test.
Oh, we
Okay.
got. Oh,
Yep, sorry about that. Okay. Yep. I am a good streamer. Welcome everybody. I hope
oh,
that everyone is ready. Let me just real
Good.
quick find my footage that I've prepared.
all right.
There we go. Okay. Oh wow, I should hope that these files will actually work. Alright, they will. No. That one. Wait, 4? Oh, jeez. Yep. So I've gathered you all here today because you guys are very important streamers and YouTubers who discuss Elden Ring. And I have come to the conclusion that Elden Ring is literally unplayable. You have
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's literally unplayable, but
No?
I think it's fair to say that it has some problems. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have problems with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Some
so
problems.
so my
But overall, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
my less
Yeah, I'm in the same
hyperbolic
boat.
my less hyperbolic statement is that Elden Ring is worse than the titles before it in the series, and it's a shame that this is the one that got popular.
I think that's fairer than literally. So the literally unplayable, is that some clickbait to trigger some poor YouTuber going, oh, what is this literally unplayable shit?
Yeah, I
Even-
got this is my series called Literally Unplayable, where I talk about such games that I have a bone to pick with, and I'm actually so tired of Elden Ring that I didn't want to make a video, so I just brought the three almost most important Elden Ring YouTubers here, right?
Yeah.
We got Endymion,
What's up?
we got V-Link,
Hello. I'm a bit newer, but yeah.
and we got Weekend Warrior, who actually only has like one video. He goes over why people
Bad taste. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so Endymion has like an ongoing feud with people that have that are Western developers who are annoyed at Elden Ring.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did that video come out before or after the release? It was like, what, 4 months ago?
Well, you keep making
Yeah.
them in the
I made
latest
like
one.
3 of them, I think.
Yeah, in the
I
latest
made
one.
my
they're-
most
they're
popular
racist,
video
apparently.
is the first one I made about that. It's just like almost at like 600,000 views or something like that.
Damn. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then the other one's at like 64,000, and then the newest one just came out. It's at like 21,000 or something
Still
like that.
not bad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
pretty
it just
big.
came out. It's fine.
Yeah. So it's gonna go up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I have problems with Elden Ring, but like I still think it's a great game no matter what. Most of my problems come from like the third act of the game. So basically, can we just say spoilers? I guess for Elden Ring.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Spoilers,
Okay.
Like I
Like,
think
just,
it's,
if anyone
it's-
really, we're spoiling Elden Ring. I guess.
By
I'm
the-
very much
by the
against
way.
Elden Ring, so please do spoil it. Yes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I would say the worst part about Elden Ring is everything past Morgoth the Omen King. In terms of difficulty, I think the game gets a little too crazy with difficulty after that point. Like everything up until then is like amazing. Everything works
Fire Giant
perfectly.
health pool is so silly.
Yeah, exactly. Like Fire Giant, what's her name? Millennia. I love Malekith. Malekith reminds me a lot of Slave Knight Gale from Dark Souls 3, but he just does too much damage.
and
and-
he cuts your health bar in half. That's so ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And like for example, that one boss that everybody hates, the Godskin duo. Like that's just not a good fight at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
especially
fight's awful.
especially because it's not even the first time you fight these guys. You specifically
Yeah.
fought them like 100 times before, and it's so stupid that they just copy pasted the bosses all over the place.
But that's
Yeah, they're-
kind of like what happens, right, with open world games.
No,
Open
no.
world
yeah.
games are always like
Well.
copy and paste a lot of the time.
Well, that's the
I would
whole
say it's
point.
worse in other games.
That's the whole point that I'm having with this game is that, well, I would say it's definitely worse in that aspect, but the whole point is that, you know what the best open world game is? It's called Dark
What?
Souls 1, okay? So why did we have to devolve from having this perfectly balanced open world game where you could go anywhere and the whole world is connected and you have actual stuff to do. And then we turn it into this game that just has a huge map with a bunch of copy-pasted bosses on it and copy-pasted dungeons.
I don't know if I would call Dark Souls 1 an open world game. I'd call it more of a... I'd call it more like a Metroidvania.
Interconnected.
Yeah, an interconnected hub Vania, so something like that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't...
Vania, yeah.
Because if Dark Souls 1 is open world, then like so is Dark Souls 3. But Dark Souls 3 isn't really open world in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I mean,
more like
aren't they
linear
similar?
level design.
Aren't they similarly open
yeah.
world?
Elden Ring is like
3 is like pretty linear. I mean, it's still great, but like
I love Dark Souls.
it does a lot of stuff
Yeah.
differently. Like the boss order is going to be very similar on like every playthrough.
Well, we also have Sekiro, which is way more open, right? And that was a good step, but then they messed it up with this one.
Sekiro, to me, that's probably the most linear out of all of them, besides maybe Demon Souls.
Well, that can't
Demon
be right.
Souls
You
is
can-
the most linear because Demon Souls is literally like one path and then it ends, and then back to hub, one path and it ends, back to hub.
And the hub.
Sekiro is
Literal
like
corridors.
but you
yeah,
could-
Sekiro's like probably one of the smallest games, probably if the smallest game
Wow,
that
really?
FromSoft made. Yeah, but in my opinion,
I think it
it's
is.
the smallest game, but it's like all meat, no fat.
Yeah, it's
just
it's the
great
most
throughout.
dense. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
dense
which is
game.
great. I love
Yeah.
Sekiro
So
because
it's
of that.
the complete opposite of Elden Ring, then, which is
Yeah, it
just
is, yeah.
tons of fat, just disgusting lard everywhere.
Mhm.
But
Elden
I
Ring
would say,
is
yeah,
like
there's like a spectrum, and Sekiro's on one side, and Elden Ring's on like the complete other side, and each other game can kind of fit somewhere in between them.
But in Sekiro, you could run past like the big boss in the tower and just go straight to the other part, can't you?
Are you talking about the big giant guy that can like curb stomp you?
No, the one samurai that you fight like 5 times.
Is the first samurai in the game after you die? Is that what you're talking about, or am I missing?
Yeah,
Or the
you
horse
go-
guy?
No, he's not.
Oh, the guy that yells my name.
Name is yeah.
Yeah.
No, the
That
guy who
one, yeah.
cuts off your arm right at the start.
Oh, you're talking about
oh.
Genichiro.
What?
Yeah,
You can run past
you've-
it?
Yeah, you can.
Huh?
Technically,
At what part?
you can go around him. I guess you can go towards that one gun fort with like the people that are sniping
Yeah.
and stuff. But like he's mandatory because in terms of story,
Well, yeah,
in terms of like having to get the mortal blade and all that, I'm pretty sure.
but you can go
Yeah.
like past him at least. Well, I guess.
Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't really call the only game they ever made its open world is Elden Ring, really. But Elden Ring at the same time is like it's almost like they took a Dark Souls game with a legacy dungeon, so like Stormvale, Haligtree, Lendel, whatever, and then they just like made this open world around it. But I think in terms of open world games, Elden Ring is probably one of the better ones, alongside maybe like Witcher 3 would be up there too.
Wow.
I mean, it's definitely better than an Ubisoft open world, I'll tell you that much.
I
Like-
mean, yeah, but it's probably. I mean, it's still too bad that we had to do this. Like, it's too bad that the Dark Souls formula didn't work without adding all this fat to it. You know.
Yeah.
I still think
Yeah,
it
I
works
think-
pretty well.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's obviously. Wait, you mean the formula or Elden Ring?
I think Elden Ring works pretty well. I will say, in terms of replayability, I would say Elden Ring is the least replayable for me personally, because due to
absolutely.
the scope. But in terms of like a first playthrough, I would say Elden Ring is probably the most like
Wow.
it feels like a journey when you're playing it, more so than any other game they've ever made.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for
it's
sure.
because that map is massive, and the fact that it's like fogged out, and like I thought the map was just gonna be like Limgrave and like the southern part, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty big for like for FromSoft, and then like I beat what's his name Morgott, and then it's like, oh, here's Liurnia, and I'm like, oh, that's big, and then I get through Rhea Lucaria, and I'm like, oh, this has to be, oh no, now we're in Lendel, and it just keeps going, and it kept
And
going,
there's, like,
and I
the-
love that.
There's like the one moment that everyone has. I think it's the Tower of Calling or something like that, or the Tower of Eternal, where you get teleported all the way up to the very top of the map, and you just see like, oh wow,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
kinda
about.
Big.
I think the reason why Elden Ring works as an open world game more than like other ones is number one, doesn't have a bunch of icons on the map. And this is what I complained about in those Western videos. Like when you're playing Assassin's Creed or something, it tells you exactly what you're going to find on the map before you even get there. Like it'll be little blue
Yeah.
icons. So you're like, oh, it's going to be a piece of gear. Oh, it's a little gold icon. Oh, now I know that there's gold there or something. With Elden Ring, it's just like you just explore, and there's you don't have to do anything, but you kind of want to because there's so many interesting things to find. And the fact that bosses can appear out of nowhere, and like if you're playing at nighttime in the game, for example, you can run into like the Knights Cavalry on the bridges. Like those are optional. You don't have to do those, and like that's why I love that game.
Or the
Yeah.
headless knights that have floaty swords. I forgot their names. Like in certain merchants, right? They
The
suddenly
bell bearing
appear.
hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Like
they
that-
do,
that-
they
that
do
shit's-
I
what
don't
with
think
the
he's
knight?
headless though.
Oh, my bad.
Wait,
No,
what?
the headless is the cavalry, or are they headless? Oh my god,
Yeah.
you're thinking of the
night.
You're thinking of
The
the
Knights
Knights
Cavalry.
Cavalry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, so
Well,
they
the
have
bell
a
bearing
Nazgul
hunter
looking
is kind of
dudes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, does he have bell bearings that he drops? Wow, I never
Yeah,
knew
if
him.
He
kill them-
does. You fight him
if you
3
kill them-
times. Yeah.
And they're all bullshit because of the sword range.
They give you the bell bearings are terrible though. They give you like
Oh.
one gives you beast bones or something like that in the shop.
Wow.
It's so funny.
it used to be awful though because they updated it now. But before, when you went into New Game Plus, all those bearings got deleted from your inventory. You didn't have access to any of the stones, and now they added like an update now. So when you go into New Game Plus, all of those stay. So now you have access to all the stones as long as you have the bearings like forever, and that's like so much better. And Elden Ring just has so many quality of life improvements that just make the Soulsborne, Souls-like whatever genre like better in my opinion. Like the fact you can put arts on like any weapon, pretty much not all of them, but like most of them. I love
Yeah,
that,
that's
and you can
cool,
scale with like
yeah.
whatever you want. Like oh my god, I love that so much.
Yeah,
I actually
that's
miss that in other
definitely
games when I
great.
play them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that way you have like less of a personality for each weapon, I guess. Like,
Kind of, but it also opens it up so like you can be
Yeah, you can
you
switch
can
up.
be, you can be anything you want really. You can be a magic player and you can use a two-hand sword. Like you can only use certain ones, right? In other games, they can use whatever you want.
well, you still need the actual stats, but I guess if you're like high level, I guess you can do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of like
He's-
it's
he's-
not so much as having the weapon have a personality. It's more like customizing what you have to fit your build, which I appreciate.
I mean, I guess there's
Yeah.
still the cool ones that don't have the option to change them, right?
Yeah, like,
usually like the boss.
Yeah,
weapons.
like the ones Titanite.
Yeah.
Or not Titanite. Why am I saying
The-
Titanite?
The somber
The ones with
Yeah.
the somber smithing stones.
Yeah.
Oh god, don't you just hate that they just renamed everything from Dark Souls, but it's still pretty much Dark Souls?
It's still the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Souls to runes and Titanite.
I
to
still
smithing
call them
stones.
souls. I don't call them runes ever.
Yeah, me too. Man.
I've
that's
recently
any game.
started actually calling everything what it actually is. Graces, runes,
Yeah, Grace is just
I
a
still say
bonfire. for its
Titanite.
gold.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I feel like this is more like Dark Souls than the other ones. I guess I didn't actually get to play the PlayStation exclusive ones, but Sekiro has like way different stuff. You don't get Titanite at all in that one, right? Instead
That's
of-
why I love Sekiro. That's what I was talking about when I said Sekiro's all meat, no fat. Like that's the only game that FromSoft's made where you do not get stronger by grinding. You can grind, I guess, and get like certain abilities, maybe like you can have more spirit emblems or something, but you can't grind like an Elden Ring. Like if Morgott curb stomps you in the beginning, you can leave and go fight a bunch of other dudes and whatever, go to Castle Morn or something, come back and then curb stomp him. Sekiro, you're not getting stronger until you beat the bosses. That's the only way to get stronger, and I love
You
that.
have to get good. Yeah.
Like that game is literally just skill, and that's it. And like, I love that game. The only complaint I would
Also
have
just
is the only
parrying
only
in general.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, I
So
love it.
much fun.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so much
pretty
so good.
cool.
I
How
love
do you
that fucking
feel?
game.
How do you feel about the fact that Sekiro introduced the idea of starting with like almost no starting health, and then in this game it's still around where you have you seen how much starting health you have in Elden Ring?
Yeah, there's
Starting
like the
health,
whole joke of like, oh,
HP?
just level vitality, bro.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You start with 300 starting health, and then the maximum you can get is like 2,000. So you get like almost 10 times more health just from leveling up. How does that happen? Like, how did they think that was a good idea? How does anyone
Yeah, I don't know
play?
why it's so drastic in this game. They kind of changed the soft caps and the hard caps and all that, but Dark Souls kind of had the whole Ember thing going on, so there were other ways to kind of
Well, that's
mitigate
still
the
there
low
too.
amounts of health you have. But now it's just kind of like if you don't have enough vitality, you're gonna get like two shot.
Well,
That's the
Yeah, I have-
problem with the end game. Yeah.
you also
I
had
have
the
a question.
same.
Yeah.
You had a different starting HP in Dark Souls. So you had 600 instead of now 300. So you
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
would
a question,
been.
guys.
Uh-huh.
Is the scaling fucked in the end game? Because if I'm
Yes.
being honest,
Yes.
if I'm being honest, I kind of stopped playing when I got to the summit because
You
it
didn't
got
finish?
really no, I
How did
didn't
you not?
finish.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I did
I
not finish
introduced
it.
with the expert.
I'm disappointed.
How
I'm
could
sorry,
you?
guys. I didn't finish.
No, but
I want to be
it's-
honest. Like
It's
I
it's fair
noticed
though.
that. Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that it got kind of like, hey, they're hitting fairly high. Is something wrong with the scaling? Because I noticed that they hit differently when you get on the snow level. Because I think I leveled up my bit fairly high.
Oh well, you
But
never
they
have
still, like-
enough. You never have enough. I think you need to have like 50, and then you're like good.
I think the
Yeah.
mandatory amount that most people tell you to have is 60 by the time you get past Morgott.
No.
It's
Yeah,
so
there's
just-
one
bad.
cap
you can-
at 40 and there's another at 60. So if you're not either at 40 or 60, you're usually doing something wrong with your build.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see
Yeah,
me
you're getting a
dying
curse stopped.
in this footage a lot because I'm trying to make a low level build, so I have a
Mm.
tiny, pathetic little health bar. So a poor idea, and I did that so I could invade the low level people, but it doesn't even seem to let me do that anymore, and I don't know why.
I never got invaded in Elden Ring.
Oh, really?
And,
You don't-
and
you
I
don't-
played online.
Well,
I
the
don't know.
rules
Oh, wow.
for invasions are different because you don't automatically, I guess, Ember like it would be in Dark Souls 3. Like after
Yeah.
you beat a boss, you would just automatically like, boom, you're eligible to be invaded now.
Yeah, you need to do the remedy, which is the thing you need to use multiplayer. So then you can be
Oh,
invaded.
okay.
But also when
Yeah, I never
whenever-
got invaded.
But it's really like almost worthless invading because you always face two other players, and one of them might have a rune archon, and they have more flasks, and they will always get you. And then it also summons in another player to protect them if you don't kill them fast enough. It's just ridiculous. They just.
I
blew
heard
it.
that Elden Ring's PvP is like a mess. I wouldn't really know because I don't really play PvP. I just don't care about it. But I heard it's just a bunch of spam of like magic and blood builds and stuff. And
Yeah.
apparently there's a lot of cheating going around. Again, I don't
Rivers of
know because I
Blood?
don't play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen a lot of like tweets that showing Rivers of Blood, either Rivers of Blood
Wow.
spam or people stomping on Rivers of Blood spammers. It's one of those. So
Yeah, I always play
weapon, though.
Strength and Faith. That's always been my build in like every
nice.
FromSoft
Wow.
game.
Like
So
the
I use-
Grant
I
in
use-
Dark Souls 1 just being the most fun weapon of all time.
Which
In
one?
Dark Souls 1, what did I use? I used the Zweihander the whole game basically.
Wow.
Just
base.
and you can get that right away. As soon as you spawn in Dark Souls,
Yeah,
Dark
run off
Souls
to the
1,
graveyard.
Yeah, you go to the graveyard. It's right there on the giant thing. Grab it, the giant tombstone. Run back. You're good to go. That weapon is amazing. And then Dark Souls 2, I used just the greatsword, like the guts greatsword.
Hell yeah.
And then Dark Souls 3, like my recent playthrough, I just been using like the claymore. Make it the heavy version.
Wait, where
So
does Faith fit into any of those?
I usually
Or you
just do
just, like-
faith. I basically build myself as a strength character first, so that like I'm just like an
Oh,
absolute
okay.
unit, and then I do faith a little bit afterwards, so I can like heal, get rid of like status effects. Because like in Elden Ring, for example, I had to do that because like that freaking like Scarlet of Rot stuff, I hated it. And you have that one ability as a faith thing where you can like cleanse yourself.
Cleanse me.
Wow,
yeah.
that must be convenient.
Yeah, that's what I used. Yeah, so like my guy was basically just like a big ass bruiser that could just like heal himself basically. That's how I always play these games. But
That's
I
awesome.
felt that Faith was weaker when Elden Ring first came out, and then they buffed it. But by the time they buffed it, I already beat the game. So maybe the way I saw the end game was because I was playing like a lesser optimized build, maybe. But like I said, the end game of Elden Ring is like that's definitely the hardest part of the whole game because like Malekith hits like stupid hard. Placidus Axe, same thing. I think personally, Elden Ring's final boss is the worst final boss, probably
Oh, yeah.
besides Nishandra, the Watchers, Aldea, and Dark Souls 2. That's like, I really don't like the Radagon, Elden Beast, all of that. I just don't like it at all. I hated it
I'm
actually.
okay with Radigan outside of his one attack where he like instant teleports, but the Elden Stars attack, from the beast is like,
and the fact it teleports
they
constantly.
wanted me to have torrent for this fight, didn't they?
I can't
But
believe we don't
you
have
can't
torrent,
summon him.
Yeah, it's so
which
bizarre.
makes no sense.
Yeah, that is such an incredibly bad fight. It's really weird.
Elden Beast is like you're fighting the fire giant without a horse. Like why? Like why would you do that? Like that's what it is. And it's stupid. Like it's the end of the journey. Like let us ride the horse. But no.
I mean, I don't like the horse that much anyways. The combat is like really awkward on the horse, don't you think?
I love it.
I just did to catch up to stuff running away and then jump off every time.
I love the horse
particularly
because it
like
makes you stronger.
Adula or like a lot of the dragons. Like they'll run away, start breathing fire. So like torrent, get up to them, jump off torrent, hit them on the head.
You know, talk about quality of life. How can you even believe that the summoning the horse is not a dedicated button? Like how did that get it in the game? How did they think that was a good idea? Now we don't.
I think they kind of expect you to use the quick pouch thing, which is what I did. I have it on the
arrows,
the left arrow.
Well, yeah, but it shouldn't be that way. Like,
well, but I think it's a compromise because you can do so many things, right?
Well, yeah.
I've got like one flask on the bottom. I've got my physic on the top.
Because you can hold down. You can hold down triangle, right? On PlayStation anyway. Hold down triangle, I think it is, and then like you have that quick select as well. So I always put like my lantern on there, a rune arc on there. I put my the other Estus flask that heals your magic and stuff, and I do all that. And then on my actual like quick menu, like when I hit on with the square button, I just have the Estus flask and I have torrent, and that's it. And that's and then that way you have access to everything instantly at all times, basically.
Well, you have access to those 4 things, right?
Yeah,
5 if you count just the button.
And like,
so you can put torrent on the button if you want, and then you can put the other 4 on triangle.
So it's like 2 flasks, physic, torrent, and just one other thing.
Okay,
like
so
a lantern. Lantern's a good one.
Here's the part where everyone starts like leaving horrible comments because I play this game with keyboard and mouse and like this pouch system almost doesn't work. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Hey, I finished the game. Okay, you didn't.
Well, I didn't. I didn't say anything, man. I wasn't going. I wasn't that guy. I was going to say, bro. I think that's a fair thing to say if you're playing the PC. That was what I was gonna say, but you just said, "Oh, shut up, weekend." Oh,
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys play with keyboard and mouse action games. Like I can't even like fathom that.
Well, yeah.
I played on PS5, so I have no idea.
First person, I hate playing.
You don't even.
I put my PS4 controller on the PC for my Elden Ring play.
Only for Elden Ring or for everything that you play?
No, just for console ports. Yeah, I also use that.
Which is weird because Elden Ring is like one of the best PC games, right? So it's like really embarrassing that they made what appears to be like the worst port since Dark Souls 1. Like why? Why did they take away all the key bindings that we had? Like I
think that's fair. Like I saw an accessibility option, like legitimate accessibility, like literally the person has like this disability with like using a keyboard, using a controller. So I think that's fair if you want to give them like keyboard access, or just like have keyboard users actually use all of the keys. Like okay, I'll just like let them use. I think I can agree with that.
I mean, the thing is that it worked really well for like the other Dark Souls games. Like even when you have Dark Souls 1 with the Dark Souls fix or with remastered, it works perfectly fine. But then in this game, I guess you just don't have access to like half the stuff conveniently, and you have to use the pouch.
Is there no mod right now for it on PC for keyboard customization?
I haven't looked into that because
I have a question about this PC stuff because again, I'm a console peasant, so I have no idea. So it's like when you play on PC, when you play like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, whatever, do you like just click the mouse to attack? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
And you just move around with the WASD?
Look around and left click. It's so funny.
What's funny about that? You
that sounds insane to me.
On your gamepad, how ridiculous is that?
Like I'm just trying to fathom how you guys play that.
It's actually a pretty interesting thing because they actually have like really stupid key bindings in the trilogy.
In the default.
Yeah.
Hey, don't bark. I have a question. What does
Hold on.
the right click do on the mouse?
That's exactly interesting because I like in the original one.
I'm pretty sure it's heavy attack.
Yeah, it's heavy attack.
Oh my god.
Well, but then in this one they tried to make it the other hand, offhand attack, which didn't work for me because they had it so that you had to shift click to do heavy attack now, and that was awful. So I rebounded to it how it was, and now I have to press shift to do my spells or whatever on the offhand.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, it works
No, it's just a
fine.
controller. I don't know. That sounds insane to me. I hit the X button to jump. I don't know.
Yeah, I use my controller for these types of games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Like,
for console games.
I think it's the F button to jump. Yeah, by default. That's
Hey.
ridiculous. Jesus.
Hello, dog.
Sorry, my dogs are barking. My dogs are barking.
That's fine.
Relax.
Hello.
Relax. Hey.
Well-
One second, I gotta let them outside. You guys keep talking. I have to get rid of these guys. 1 second.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
Wait, who is that? Is that Endymion?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, it's Endymion. Yeah.
Right, so keyboard and mouse should be the optimal way to control because you have like all the buttons on the keyboard, so you'd have like a crazy amount of possibilities, and then you have the really smooth looking around with the mouse. But then in the Dark Souls games, usually they bungle up the mouse camera a good bit. Like you'll see it here soon, I guess. When I'm trying to look backwards while riding the horse, it like tries to wrangle the camera behind the horse rather than letting me look freely, and that's like really inconvenient. But if the game was like aware of keyboard and mouse controls, it would be like the best way to control because you'd have more options. You'd be able to look around better. You'd have more like directional control because you can like change the camera, and then it would.
That sounds insane to me. I don't know.
Yeah, my big thing with keyboard and mouse on third-person games like this is there's no omnidirectional movement. You've got like WASD or arrow keys or whatever. So you got 8 directions, and that's it.
Well, no, you look where you point. You just press W, and it goes towards the mouse. So you have like tons of directional control, really.
Well, not if you lock on to something, but
well,
I get that it's
definitely
not that restrictive, but it feels awkward to me.
Yeah, lock-on
I can't fathom that.
Lock-on is like really bad usually. You want to avoid using lock-on as much as possible.
How do you lock on PC? What do you click?
Middle mouse. I guess that's
Okay.
like the
And
least
how do you do
awful,
your
I guess.
weapon art?
It's so weird. Like,
Well, I have it on Q. I don't remember what it was originally.
I gotta find a chart and just put it in the chat.
It just like
Space-
sounds
no.
insane to me.
like
Like,
spacebar jump. Florian, the spacebar jump. I haven't played on the keyboard, so I don't know.
I think spacebar is
I don't
Roll.
actually.
roll.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
it's roll.
I think it might be roll because
Spacebar is roll.
I actually
So how do
Run.
you jump?
look.
How do you jump?
Well, it's F. Yeah, so I
It's
guess
F?
it's
Press F to jump.
Yeah, press F to jump. Well, the thing is that I always rebind all games to have space to sprint because it's more convenient than pressing shift to sprint. So I think that actually
Really?
started with Dark Souls because Dark Souls has that, I think.
See, now I'm looking at my keyboard. So like if shift is to sprint, WASD is to run. What does Z and X do? Does it do anything?
X is crouch, I think.
No, I,
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
X
already
is
know
crouch, you're right.
if I played PC Elden Ring, whatever, I'd be hitting random shit all the time. I'd be like opening and closing the game constantly. Like I don't know how you guys play like that. I don't understand. But I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
just
play
on
like
controller, so I don't know.
I mean, you get
That sounds
used
insane to
it
me.
pretty quick, I guess. I mean, I'd be awful at controllers, so I guess it makes sense. Everyone just has their preferred thing. But a lot of people actually really want to like force everyone to use gamepads for these games, which I hate. Okay, you'll never get me. Okay.
I just like
There's
imagine like because you guys play Elden Ring like that. I'm trying to think of like playing a game like Devil May Cry 5 on PC. and just imagining how insane that is.
I use my controller.
At that
for
point, you're writing like scripts and codes trying to fight. Like how many buttons you're probably pressing. It sounds insane. Like I don't get it. Like just that doesn't surprise me.
I would
Controller
prefer
for that.
to not play that game at all than play it on. keyboard and mouse. That sounds terrible. Imagine playing like V, where you're doing all the piano stuff, where you have to hold buttons down and like have it all asynchronous, but doing that on a keyboard.
Yeah,
I
no
feel like
thanks.
you're playing an accordion.
I don't understand that at all. I feel like PC, like, like for me, PC, like, you guys have obviously an advantage when it comes to like RTS games and that kind of
First-person
stuff,
games, I think.
MOBAs,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, shooters.
Like that makes sense to me. But action games, third person, like I don't understand it at all. I don't get it. Especially with Elden Ring, like I would definitely hit a button and like screw up my game instantly. But that's just me. I actually have a hot take when it comes to spells in from software games. I actually prefer when spells have a certain amount of uses over
Really?
I love that
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
much more than the
Than
MP
MP?
bar. It's not even
Yeah.
funny. I know
think
that's like
MP's not great, but I don't think the number of uses. I mean, I guess it made it, you want to use attunement more, but since attunement's not really like a thing anymore, I don't know if I would like that in Elden Ring.
I love that in Dark Souls 2. Oh, I love it. Well, see, that's another really
'cause-
good quality of life improvement in Elden Ring. It's in Dark Souls 3 technically too, but like when you kill kill a group of enemies, how it like restocks your estises for you. I
Also,
love
depending on
that.
the size of the enemies, how much it restocks and all that.
Yeah, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I like how they also added the merchant icons on the map, so you know where they are. And it's good too because you can actually kill the merchants and then give their bearings to the old lady people
Become
at
the
round table.
bell-bearing hunter yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but then it's just convenience, right? Like, why am I going to come here and
Yeah.
talk to you when I can just kill you in cold blood? Like, it's fine. So, nah, that's
You don't have
no.
the runes at the time. You gotta
Yeah,
take
exactly.
the bell-bearing, save it for
I'd
later.
rather just stab him in the back of the neck and kill him instantly, and then I can just buy
Yeah.
whatever I want.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm just a psychopath.
Elimer's he came from a pretty understandable place.
Yeah.
I think their
There's
Volcano Manor is kind of like they make it seem like a commitment, but it doesn't actually do anything.
yeah, I think like
Like you can at least
It would add like something if there were more stuff like that. If more like factions,
like
that
more
actually want you to
more
do
story
something.
factions,
Yeah.
right?
Bloody Fingers in particular feel like they were going to be a covenant. Like you get the item that
Yeah.
gives you the infinite invasion, like the red eye
Uh-huh.
orb in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But like it there's no difference when you invade as using that or using something else.
Well, yeah,
Like the
invasions
duelist
are
thing
pretty bad
and
anyways, so I guess that
and,
wouldn't have worked.
yeah.
Yeah, the duelist thing is kind of interesting, but does anyone actually use that stuff?
No one. I don't know.
It's like 20 people maybe.
Like one of the best things in Dark Souls 1, you probably will disagree, but like, it is like the cat covenant, because that stuff is just really cool. You just fight these guys, and then you move further in, and then you talk to the cat, and the cat will say, "Hey,
Oh, you mean in the woods?
yeah, don't you want
I
to
farm
join
those
me?"
guys.
That was
yeah,
Those guys are the
such-
easiest soul farms
yeah,
in like the
obviously,
beginning of the game.
But that's not the point. Like, the point is that you could join them, and then they open up some kind of PvP arena.
Blue Phantoms.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's awesome because like you don't.
Are they blue? I think
The
they.
rules of invasions worked differently there,
Yeah,
and because of that, you like were always invaded and like always had someone to fight. PvP at PvP level, at progression level. It was awesome. I love that covenant.
Yeah, and then
That's very similar to the Aldrich Covenant in Dark Souls 3.
Yes,
If
it's
you
mechanically
stand
I think,
after-
identical.
If you stand after the Pontus Sullivan in that like big area there
yeah,
before enter Orlando, like you just invade people's games constantly, all the time.
is that why everyone's invading there? Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
believe they don't have anything like
It
that.
also has a nice little arena section right after the fight arena.
Yeah.
Like it's cool lore wise, it's cool PvP wise, and they just don't have anything like that in Elden Ring.
I think didn't I read somewhere about somebody like glitching into those Colosseums? Because there's like that one Colosseum in Caelid with the big ass jar dude in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
nothing's
can't
in
get
them
inside?
though.
Yeah, they'll probably add
This
it
is
in.
now,
like
maybe?
cheat engine, like free camera, go inside. It's
Yeah.
like fully modeled on the inside, but nothing's in there.
Oh,
Expansion.
Maybe the DLC?
well, not fully
Yeah.
modeled. It's
Yeah.
like partially modeled, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
they'll probably do an expansion where they add that kind of stuff. But it's
It was
just
like a
weird.
data mine where there was an NPC that was supposed to be by the entrance of one. But I think only text lines came up. Like there's no voice for it, no model. But
Yeah, It's
I'll just share. I'll just share, Florian, this one thing.
Yeah.
I bought the collector's edition because I thought the DLC will be bundled in, and then I read the fine print. There's no DLC here. Like
Uh-oh.
it's just the art and the OST. I was like, I felt so like, oh, there's no guarantee of the future DLC that this game will have. Oh my god, like.
I think they're gonna announce the DLC at the Game Awards.
Yeah, I think they will.
that's what
That's
I
my
think.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
collector's
annoying to
editions
me,
are
'cause I bought-
always bad. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I usually buy those editions for like DLC because I was all in on like Elden Ring, so I was like, hey, where's the DLC thing? Like,
Well, at least
So
they
I
don't
think
have day
will.
one
I think
DLC.
they
That's
will.
good,
I
I
think they
guess. But
you got to finish the game first.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
well, I mean,
I'm
if
pretty
you-
sure like DLC wise it's gonna be didn't Ziostorm make that one video about going
Yeah,
to middle of
so
stream or something?
were you part of the conversation when we were talking about it, like the morning of that leak, or something?
No, probably not. It's probably sleep. Shout out
It
to the
was
roundtable,
me,
by the way. We're part of this
Zylestorm,
thing, yeah.
and one other. We were talking about it, and we all kind of came to the conclusion like this is definitely fake. But you know, it makes for good content, so we made the video anyways. The caption was "Barbarians of the Badlands." I think
Oh,
it
yeah,
was.
I saw
You're
that.
talking about that
Which is
leaked
a
image.
terrible
Yeah, yeah.
title.
Yeah, but that's a cheesy title. I don't see FromSoft
So
doing
bad.
that. I'm
yeah, I mean,
sorry.
it's not real.
okay,
the leak
stop
is
now.
like, yeah.
Yeah, if anything, it's probably like the egg guy growing up or something. I
Mikula.
think that's Mikula.
I knew that leak
I
wasn't
think
real
they're
the
doing
moment
time
it said.
shenanigans again.
As soon as it said Tales of Ascension was on there, I was like, nah, there's no way they're making another Tales game. They just released a Rise. There's no way. That's how I knew it was
I, mean,
fake.
I would
right
be
away.
down for Super Dragon Ball Fighters, but
Oh hell yeah!
What are you even talking
That is not
about?
coming.
Jesus.
There's this leaked image. Maybe I should find it and then put it in the chat. There's this leaked image of
Sorry,
like all these
unfortunate.
games that
I'll find it.
yeah, there,
Famco's
yeah,
supposedly gonna release, but it's
yeah. There's all
obviously
these
fake.
leaked stuff.
Right. Anyway, so
Yeah,
don't you
so,
feel
yeah.
like it's greatly missing like stuff like here,
It's
having
great. Yeah.
having PvP, having factions that you can actually interact with. Like
Yeah, there's the image. You put it in the chat.
like how did they decide not to put all that stuff in? Like how
Yeah.
did that end up being what they went with? That's crazy, isn't it?
A little bit.
I mean, I don't know.
But there's so much content in the game already, I think.
But what
Like,
content? Like all that we get is like copy pasted bosses and like dungeons
know,
that
like-
really make the game worse. Basically, like
I
every
agree-
time
I
I have
agree
to
with-
fight a dungeon, it's just awful.
I think the reason why Elden Ring's open world works so well, because like for example, like me, I play so many games, like ridiculous amounts. I've played pretty much almost every open world game I think that has come out in the last 10 years, almost all of them. Elden Ring is one of the only ones where I actually feel
like you're-
surprised while I'm playing it,
Yeah.
because things can just happen. One of the only other open world games that might do that maybe would be like Breath of the Wild,
What
like,
can
bosses
happen?
can pop in.
Really?
No,
I actually didn't like Breath of the Wild that much.
I don't
I
even
I
know
like
but
Witcher
what.
yeah.
3 a lot more.
I don't
I
even know
like
what
Witcher
you're
3.
talking about. What can happen? Like a
No, I-
random
You
boss
could,
fight
you could
can
just be
happen?
like,
and
like boss fights can happen, and the fact that there's
yeah,
just the thing
Discovering
about, like,
Nocron and stuff like that.
Yeah.
exactly, like that kind of stuff is amazing because like you don't have to discover Nocron. There's so much of the map of Elden Ring you don't even have to do. Don't you only need like two big runes just
Yeah,
to
to
Before
get
you
fight the
to
fight
final
the-
boss?
Morgott, yeah.
yeah.
So most
Like,
people would just fight like what Godric and Renala, and they're like, "Oh, I can proceed with the game." Just
yeah,
go on.
exactly. Like Radon, Nocron, all of that. Caelid, completely optional. Melania, optional.
Yeah,
Haligtree,
well,
think about
realistically, you're
it.
gonna
I love
find a
that.
lot
No,
of it.
no,
Well,
but
but
I think I agree with Endymion when he said like the first time we explore everything, that's like the biggest draw of it.
Yeah.
Like when you yeah, I see where he's coming from. Like that's the new thing. But I kind of agree with what you're saying, Florian. I see what you mean by repeating bosses. I remember fighting the what do you call that? One of the god skin disciples in the windmill,
yeah,
and I fought him again in the tower thing that you have to
The Caelid
climb.
Tower, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's bullshit.
I
I
fought him in.
love the
And then
Caelid
there's like
Tower.
two
The
No,
nobles,
I
levels.
and
like
then this snail that summons
yeah,
both, and
it's
then the Godskin
exciting, but
duo.
yeah, it's exciting to get into the tower, but at the same time I felt bullshit and it was scary because I don't like heights.
Man,
And
Godskin.
that's just,
Wow, you don't like
yeah.
high. That's crazy. Godskin duo are just like I don't mind the boss fight where they spawn like a bunch, but I hate the fact that there's two of them. Okay, like there's the fat one and the skinny one, and that's it. And then they copy pasted like 10 times or whatever. Like why?
Yeah.
Like couldn't
Because
you
the
at
reality
least
is
have-
with open world games, you have like there just inevitably will be reskins and that kind of thing because that's just like
That
these games are so
shouldn't be.
big. I know they shouldn't be, but like
it
the
doesn't
thing is
need
they're
to
so
be
big.
that big. Like cut it in half, please do it.
Like
No, I
like a
I agree with
denser,
that.
smaller open world. Is that what you're asking for, Florian? A
For
smaller,
sure.
denser.
But just like the choice of like the god skin, like why wouldn't there just like be at least one of them in between? Like just having two
Like,
and then
no,
repeating
no.
them. It's the same thing as if we had Ornstein and Smoke like randomly appearing, like clones of them. It would be so bad. Like if you had
Could
like
have been the
and
Godskin Lord. Yeah, something
like
like
if you
that.
had like an intermediate one, maybe. But
Yeah.
maybe then you could be like, oh yeah, there's like a bunch of ones. They were just too lazy to
Ornstein,
make them.
you fight Ornstein in literally every single Dark Souls game too, right?
Yeah, I was half expecting him to show up in Elden Ring.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
he's in Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 2 you fight him as the old Dragon Slayer. Dark Souls 3 you fight him in Lothric Castle,
Look,
but he has a
that-
shield
He's got a
now.
big
Look,
shield
that's
now.
And you
lit-
fight him in the Ring City too. He's in like the corner in the swamp there.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a bad example, but it's still literally less than the Godskin duo. Okay, you fight them in the single game of Elden Ring. You fight them more than what you just said about the about.
I would
about
say one
Ornstein.
boss that's definitely overused in Elden Ring is the Erd Tree Avatar.
God,
Yeah.
I
There's
a
hate
bunch
it.
of those.
Yeah,
Fuck that guy.
the hideous tree penis. Yeah, it's
Oh, also Smo shows up a lot as the fire
yeah.
prelates.
yeah. He's,
Oh, yeah, I guess.
he's fun.
That was
Oh,
funny when I saw
yeah.
them. I was like, hey, Smo's in this game, but not Ornstein?
Well, I mean, like,
he's in the DLC. Probably.
think about it though, right? Like,
Yeah,
game
if we're
developers,
realistic.
game developers have to reuse a lot of stuff all the time. Like, this is just how it is with, like, rolling animations and opening doors and whatever. So, like, even the Erd Tree Avatar, if you look at it, like, it's just the model of the very first boss in Dark Souls 1. Like,
Silent
like stab in the head.
Well,
It's the same thing.
I like the fact that he looks different. Okay, that's better. But then having the same tree like 10 times in the same game is still so annoying. And he doesn't even look differently. I just
Yeah,
it-
I know. Yeah.
What did they even drop? Did they drop like something important? So you're actually supposed to farm them?
They drop the tiers, like
Oh
the
my
bubble
God.
tiers, crack
Yeah, for
tiers,
the
all that
flash.
stuff. So stuff for the physics.
Physic fast, yeah.
Physics, isn't that for? Oh, the physique, right? Yeah.
Physique, whatever.
I just call it
yeah,
Estus.
yeah, whatever.
It's all Estus and Souls for me. I don't care what they tell me to call it. I'm not calling it that.
Well,
that
well,
one doesn't
well,
even restore health.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't
Well,
care.
it does actually, but
Unless
it's
you
not.
mix it
It's,
to do that.
well, it's not an Estus because that one actually is like pretty unique. So that one's definitely deserve.
Yeah, you can actually break the game with that because you can make it so your mana is like infinite, and then a lot of summoners just use the Azure Comet Azure ability for free,
Yeah.
basically for a little bit.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, but didn't they fix that? Didn't they make it like it
They
reduces
nerfed it
half?
a little bit, yeah. Like it
Yeah,
still
they-
exists, but it's nerfed.
Well, it only works for like a minute, so I guess it's probably good against bosses. Yeah,
They just burn them down.
yeah.
My
wait,
biggest
is
problem
it-
with Elden Ring is the spirit summon ashes. I don't like those things at all.
Oh, of course you don't. Yeah, okay. Like the only
Yeah,
thing that makes it slightly more bearable, you know, like yeah, all this crazy.
The only reason why
bullshit
I
of
don't
the
like it
fast
is
moving-
because, like I said, the whole game up until Morgott never used it, any of them, because they didn't have to, because the game felt balanced. And then once I got past Morgott and I started fighting like not really Fire Giant, but like Malekith,
Godskins.
Radicon, Godskins. The Godskin duo fight, in my opinion, that's the worst fight in the game because,
Yes.
well, actually, no. I think it's the worst fight besides Millennia, which is a very people won't agree with me with that. I don't like Millennia at all, but
Oh, she's
yeah, I
so
don't like that
bad.
fight at all. I could make a whole video ranting about why I don't like Millennia, but anyway, Godskin duel. I don't like that fight simply
Excited for
because you could just have the two of them fight you. I don't care. It's fine. I'll spank them and destroy them. It's fine. The reason why that fight sucks is because they respawn. If
Yeah,
they
that's-
didn't respawn,
I'm
it wouldn't
aware.
be fine.
I see
That's
Vince
so
at that. That's
stupid.
kind of bullshit. Yeah.
That would be
Or
like
at
fighting
least-
Ornstein and Smo, and then like you kill Ornstein, and then like he comes back halfway through the fight.
Yeah, I
Do the
mean,
That's
Godskin
just be dumb.
like if one Godskin dies, does he absorb the power or no?
no,
He
it's
just-
No, you
No,
just
just
you
summons
haven't even
another
played
version
it,
back.
have you?
Summons another one. That's
Oh, dude, it's so bad. And guess what? It's
Oh my
it's
God.
even worse because they share a health spot, right?
Yeah.
Am I-
Yeah, so
It-
you
it-
could fight
it's-
like 3 disciples before it dies. It's
Oh
pretty
my
bad.
God.
I mean,
It's
they did
it's
that
a bad
with
fight.
they did that with the four
bad fight.
kings, but it makes a little sense.
It does one at a time for 4 kings. Like it starts one and then gives you some time, and then
Yeah.
spawns another, and
Well,
then
they still have a shared
if you're
health
slow enough,
bar.
you can get like 6 kings, which is really fun.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That's sort of a DPS check to like be able to actually defeat
Yeah.
him.
yeah,
But
or a tanky
but the
check.
the Godskin duel fight, that's the worst fight in the game by far.
Also,
Just
they have
because
more
they-
health than just the health shared between them, so they will always
yeah.
spawn another.
There's always gonna be 4, I think. Like, there's no way to avoid having 4. I think.
I think you can get it down to 3.
Hmm.
And I think depending on the weapon, you can hit them while they're dying and maybe do it in 2.
And maybe one of them has a smaller health bar, so if you kill him, you get more.
Yeah, they suck,
It-
but Millennia is worse.
Oh yeah.
Can't
I
you
don't
just
care.
wear the armor
Wow,
and
Millennia worse than Godskin Duel.
I hate
That's
Millennia. Oh my god.
crazy.
just do the video?
She
I know
is
you
like
want.
the antithesis. She is like the antithesis of like what I think any From Software boss should be. She's like no boss.
What do you
should
think of
heal
Lady
you when
Maria?
they attack.
Well, the
Oh,
main
I have a complaint.
I like Maria. I actually, weirdly enough, I first tried Maria. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah, I first tried her. I have no idea how I did it, but I did it.
Nice.
I thought that was fine, but with Melania, the problem is she has 2 full health bars. In my opinion, her second form's easier than the first form. Because the
Yeah, I
second form,
agree.
she has a lot more openings. If she just didn't heal, it'd be fine. Well,
Yeah,
not
sure.
fine, but it would be better. But the healing aspect is horrible.
Oh, did you know the worst thing is that when you block, she still heals? Like, wow,
It's
she's hit
stupid.
your shield. That's how
I
she
don't like
heals. Like, why doesn't she just hit the ground? Why doesn't she heal from that?
And this is why I don't
I
like Spirit
think
Summon Ashes. Because people
It was
feel like
kind
they're
of an
obligated.
okay way to discourage using a spirit summon against them.
No, let me use my spirits.
Millennia was one of the only fights where I felt like I had to use it because like it's just otherwise like
Well,
she has that
wouldn't
one
she
attack, the waterfowl dance. Like that's just
Yeah.
you know what it feels like. This is kind of why I've like okay, let's just put it this way. Maybe I will make a video about this. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
Please do.
I'm
I
watching.
really would. I really
For
want to hear
example-
these rants.
for
in
example,
HD.
like with Sekiro, I think that Demon of Hatred, while is a good boss, doesn't make sense in Sekiro because it feels like it's a Bloodborne boss in a Sekiro game.
oh,
Melania feels like she's a Sekiro boss, but she's an Elden Ring. That's to me. That's how.
oh my
that's how she
god,
feels.
if
A
you
lot of her
could parry
tells
her,
feel
she
really
would be so
similar,
much
too.
better, wouldn't
Oh.
she? Yeah.
You'd be amazing in a Sekiro game. Like when she does waterfowl dance, and you could like L1 and like block every hit.
Yeah, just
That's
do
why she
that.
feels like that kind of boss. And the same thing with Demon of Hatred. When you're playing Sekiro, the whole game's about deflecting and all these things. And then suddenly there's just this giant beast boss that's like slamming you and shooting fire, and it's like Not only does he look like a Bloodborne boss, he acts like a Bloodborne boss. And that's what Melania feels like to me. It's like she's coming at me and I'm like thinking, oh shit, I should like start deflecting her attacks and Mikiri counter her. Oh, I can't, it's a different game. You know what I mean? She doesn't feel
It's
like she
funny you
fits
say
in.
that. And Demian, it's funny you say that because I felt like there's a Bloodborne enemy in Elden Ring. There's this mini boss in the dungeon before you meet the big ass blacksmith when you go to Karya Manor, and that enemy is bullshit. Like this, like multiple
Ulcerated
armed.
tree spirit?
No, no,
Or
no, not or that's also bullshit. But that
That
not
boss
not
sucks
that.
too.
Yeah, that boss sucks too. No, no. What's that fucker's name? Like
Are you
he's
thinking of
what is that fucker's name? Like it's like the road to Carrier Manor. There's like the ruins there, right? What the fuck
oh,
is
the
that
grafted
boss?
scion?
Is that? Let me see.
Oh, the one with the
Grafted.
many
Has like a bunch of
arms.
arms and legs and like stabs you and stuff.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Wait, don't
those
you?
I hate
I
that
like
thing.
those guys. See, this is
Really?
weird. Like, see,
You
again,
hate
maybe
Melania,
another
but like
Yeah, I
grafted
hate
scion.
Melania. I think the best boss in Elden Ring by far, in my opinion, is Godric the Grafted. Godric the
no,
Grafted.
That's
No, I like
not the one
Godric.
we were talking about.
Godric
Yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome.
You could deal with him in many ways that Elden Ring shows you. Like you can jump over his attacks, and but yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he feels like he was tuned perfectly. Where like you don't need Spirit Summon
Yeah.
Ashes, you don't need anybody, whatever. You can just
It's
fight
the
him.
scions that like have they have like a rapier and they kind of like stab you with it and they have the golden great shield.
And
That's
they
the
teleport.
first boss. That's the first boss that kills you, right? Or
Yeah, I
probably
think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Oh, is this? Oh, is it? No, no. Wait. Let me check.
It's the tutorial sequence boss.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, yeah.
kills you once and then you never see him again. So you probably
No,
forgot.
he's in.
No, no,
You
he's
no,
see
in,
no.
those again. They become like
he's
regular
in
enemies.
Stormvale Castle. He's in the
Carrier
dining
Manor.
hall with all the arms hanging from it.
Let
You
me
also
check.
fight one on the way to Volcano Manor at Mount Gelmir. There's one that jumps down when
Wait.
there's like a big
There's one
ladder.
in
Remember?
the Halleck tree as well.
See, these ones are
Yeah.
less awful because they're like mini bosses, so you don't actually have to
Bro.
fight them. So it's fine that they're
Yeah.
copy pasted.
I like those guys. I just like
Let me
grotesque
check.
design. So I like the way that thing looks.
Yeah, the design makes more sense because I guess that's just what you get if like a bunch of corpses grow together, right? But then like
Yeah.
the Godskin duo, they're like so characteristic, and there's just two of them. It's always those two.
Yeah. I would say the skinny Godskin by himself, like when you fight him in the tower or you fight him at the
Yeah, he's-
Windmill Village, he's fine. He's
He's
a
fine,
fine
yeah.
boss.
Yeah,
The fat one, that one is definitely difficult, I would say. Like when he's like rolling on his fat and stuff, and
I also
he's
hate
like
that they balance the fight around the pillars, but they're really buggy with the pillars.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible physics. What's happening
Yeah.
with the fat one? Yeah.
especially after playing Dark Souls 3 recently again. Like I just beat
Oh, no.
everything about that game again. Like that game, in my opinion, still has the best bosses out of any From Software game. Probably next after that would be probably Sekiro. I would say Sekiro and Dark Souls 3 like fight for top for me.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
agree.
Elden Ring though has the best quality of life, and I would say it's the best first playthrough of a From Software game in my opinion. Just like exploring that world and everything, but in repeated playthroughs, I would say Elden Ring's one of the weaker ones because of how big it is. Especially 'cause in my second playthrough when I replayed it, I just decided to skip all the side stuff and just do the main quest. So like I would just go from like the very beginning of the game, go straight to Stormvale because I already have everything already. I already platinumed the game, so I'm gonna go straight to Stormvale, and then I'm gonna go to Rhea Lucaria, and then da 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 da. And when I played it like that, it
Oh.
wasn't as good that way. It's
No,
almost
no.
like a game that you have to play with side content in order for it to be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found the boss. It's Royal Revenant.
Wow, I don't
I don't
know
remember what that
that
boss
one.
is.
I hate that guy.
Revenant.
It's in the
I gotta
King's
Google it.
Realms ruins. Yeah, yeah. It's just
Royal
before
Revenant.
EG. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
actually
those things
turned-
are like very similar to the grafted sign, but a little different.
Are you
I
talking
think
about the dudes that like teleport and they like bitch
Yeah,
slap?
and
you?
they
have the
grab
little
you.
horse dudes
Yeah.
follow
Oh
them
yeah, yeah. Those
sometimes,
guys
yeah.
suck.
Yeah, fuck those guys. It
Yeah,
feels like a
they're in
Bloodborne
Halleck
enemy.
Street. Yeah, those guys are in Halleck Tree at the bottom. There's like a bunch of them in this like long hallway area.
Oh my god, that would
Yeah,
suck.
I remember that. Yeah, those guys suck.
God, I
Yeah,
still
I
don't
just
know which
fought
ones
one.
you're talking
and
about.
that's fuck.
Yeah, those guys are difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like that's an enemy that feels like a Bloodborne enemy.
Anyways,
like, Yeah, so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I really wanted to share, but I know it's not the grafted side.
Shadow Rage. Yeah, so we
Yeah, I
really
mean that was my
gotta
bad. I got the names mixed up and
It's fine, man. It's fine.
I
we
said
gotta
wrong.
focus about the topics. Okay, so like
Oh, Elden Ring's terrible.
No, I think that's
the topic.
that's 1 point in your favor, man. Because like it's not an enemy that is fit for the game. If that makes sense.
Okay,
Like,
what does he do again? Sorry, I really gotta picture this enemy.
Like he's really fast, and like
What
When
does he look
dodges-
like? What
He's
does
like
he
this
look like?
white-skinned, long-looking dude, and he has like a big black cloak on him and a little crown on his
Yeah.
head. And he's a bunch of little
Lucky.
white arms, and then he just like bitch slaps you like crazy, and then he like teleports, and when he teleports, there's like this green, like yellow stuff like mist around him.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you
He
go.
can
That
grab
guy.
you all of a sudden.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure I've seen
also-
him. Oh well, I guess that's magical.
You're glad you didn't see him because that guy sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
yeah. So
There's a
I
bunch
think
of them in
that's
Halley Tree.
I think that's a part of what could make Elden Ring better, because I think that's not tuned for how you should fight enemies in the game. Like a secure boss in Elden Ring, or a Bloodborne enemy in Elden Ring. It's weird. Like I think
Yeah,
you could do this fight easier if you could like do the quick dash in Bloodborne, then you attack and you dash back and you use an item or whatever. But it's
And
not
I've heard that sentiment a
game.
lot. That this feels like a lot of the bosses are balanced around Bloodborne combat,
Yeah.
which is kind of bizarre.
I mean,
and I
you
can
move
see
No,
that
at
very
least for the
fast in this
at least for
game.
the Revenant, yeah.
Like I
Like,
said, I would agree that
Garank
it's
is like Malekith is cool. Garank is not cool.
I mean, the fact that you can jump means that you can avoid like way more than you could in the other Dark Souls games.
Oh
so
no, but but you fight this Revenant in an enclosed area.
Uh-oh.
The King's Realm guy, which is bullshit, because he has all the advantage.
Okay, enough about this guy.
Anyway.
I love the jumping because, for example, when you're fighting Godric the Grafted, when he's slamming the ground, or Godfrey, you can actually like jump and like completely dodge the shockwaves. So I really
never
like that.
managed to do that. No.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. And I love how the game has more of that like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3 reaction when you're hitting enemies. Like just the way they kind of move and stuff when you hit them. This is like one thing I noticed when I replayed Dark Souls 2 recently. A lot of the enemies don't really react to getting hit. They just kind of like walk through stuff.
Oh god,
When you're
Dark
playing like
Souls
Dark
2.
Souls 3.
Dark Souls
Yeah.
2 is so janky and like so slidey. I
I
would love
think that's
to-
the worst
to
game in the series.
experience.
I have a whole video about that thing, so yeah.
Yeah, I would love to experience like the content again if it wasn't for the awful gameplay.
Yeah. But
Maybe
that's
I
one thing I
should.
like about Elden Ring. Elden Ring feels like a greatest hits collection of everything From Software has made up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just in an open world that, in my opinion, is one of the more interesting open worlds to play through. But I will, like I say, like I will defend Elden Ring, and I'll say it's a great game. I would say it's even at times a masterpiece. It's not my favorite game that they've ever made, but I would still say, yeah, the final act of that game is still the worst part of it, just due to how imbalanced it feels with damage. I feel like if the bosses did maybe like 20% less, for example, Malekith just does too much damage no matter how you look at it.
Well, the thing is that it's actually like kind of balanced if you grind like a crazy amount. If you go to all the mines, if you level up as much as you can, if you get tons of vigor, then it's balanced. But I hate it. Like grinding should not factor into Dark Souls.
No, it's true. I think that's why like Dark Souls 3, in my opinion, is so every Dark Souls game, every game pretty much has like a different difficulty curve. I think Dark Souls 3's difficulty curve from beginning to end is pretty much perfect. Elden Ring is the same way up until Morgott, and then I think it just goes vertically up too high, and it gets
Well,
ridiculous.
How can that be true if like you could just go to a really hard area, or you could skip like the early area, and then when you go back to it, it's too easy, but you still need to get all the flasks from there. And like I feel like it's never well balanced.
Yeah, but that's just sort of the problem with open world games in general, is like not everyone's going to do everything. no matter what. Like there's always going to be there's never going to be a way to perfectly do it when you give players a lot of freedom. Like what one of my best friends in real life, he played through Elden Ring, beat the game, whatever, and then he was playing it again, and I was asking him like, "Oh, did you go fight Moog?" He's like, "I don't know what a Moog is," and I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know what a Moog is?" He's like, "I don't know what that is." Turns out he completely missed Moog. Never did it. He missed like a ton of bosses. He never fought
That's
Placido
the one that's
Sax.
really understandable, though. If you don't
Yeah.
find that like one little gate or do
Wait, which
Vari's
one is
mission,
he?
there's no other way to get to him.
Maybe I missed him too,
Yeah.
but maybe it's just because all the enemies have like really stupid
Probably.
names.
He's
that
my
all
favorite boss in that
start
game,
with N.
actually.
Right,
Moog's
which
your
one is
favorite
he?
boss?
Mechanically speaking, Moog is my favorite boss.
Really?
Because he's so different from the other fights. Like his phase transition is obviously very unique, but he puts hazards on the stages, which is like not a lot of bosses do that
How
in
did you-
clever ways. While
How did
Moog,
you
like
play Elden Ring? Like, what was your build? What did you play as?
me, on different runs, I played a bunch of different things.
Okay,
My
very first run. How did you play?
I did a Dragon Breath build, so like I played easy mode essentially,
Oh, okay.
where you like
How do you get those?
if you kill certain dragons, you get like their
Yeah,
hearts, and you can do the
You
communion.
trade the heart.
Like-
yeah.
Rot breath is so broken.
Oh,
but,
right. I wouldn't have.
Maybe
got
that's
that.
why you liked Moog.
Yeah,
But then
'cause-
on future runs, I did like actual. What was the weapon I used? I'm trying to remember. It was like a standard strength dex weapon, and even then, Moog was the most fun to me. Like I felt like his tells. He doesn't do anything too nasty in terms of tricks like Margit does.
is
Like
he the
Margit does
one-
these really awkward looking delays, while Moog's delays they kind of look more like natural, I guess.
Is he the one
Like he
with the
doesn't
blood
jump away
magic?
that often, and I hate when bosses do that. I don't know. Love that fight. I think mechanically it's really like one of the best in Elden Ring.
I still think Godric's the best fight because that fight to me feels.
Godric's number 2 in my mind.
This is my kind of my way of looking at fights in like any game. This is why I think Aldia and Nishandra, Aldia especially in Dark Souls 2 is an awful fight, and it connects to Elden Ring. So basically, if a fight punishes a certain play style more than other play styles, then the fight should be fixed in my opinion. So for example, when you're fighting Aldia, you know he can like light himself on fire. If you're playing a solely melee build, which is what I usually play, Aldia is a nightmare to fight. So, but if you're
Does
playing a
Moog
mage build,
punish melee builds? I thought he was like pretty standard on each way. I mean,
I don't know,
the
maybe for
blood
me.
flame talons was kind of awkward to roll around if you're right in his face, but like it still had an answer of just roll behind him instead.
I guess I feel like just because he can like carpet bomb the entire arena with like his blood, and then if you're a melee character, you have to like get around it, and he can block you off, and just I don't know. To me, it was annoying as a melee character to fight personally. But yeah, that's why I love Godric because you can fight him no matter how you want to play, and he just makes sense. He works every other way, and that's why I feel like that's a great fight because that's a perfect fight really because it's designed so everyone, no matter how they play the game, he makes sense. And then there's certain fights throughout From Software's games where like they very clearly like favor other people's than other ones. Like for example, would be like the Moonlight Butterfly in Dark Souls. If you're playing a mage build, you can just attack it from far away. If you're playing a melee build, you have to dodge everything it does and then wait for it to land, then you can attack it. You know what I mean? So like you're almost at an
Also,
advantage
Elden
depending on how you
Beast
play.
being immune to holy damage and all status effects. Like, what is
Is
that?
it?
Yeah,
That's
Elden Beast is
amazing.
awful.
Yeah, there's
Elden
some
Beast is an awful
crazy
fight.
ones.
I'll
That's
find out.
that to me is that's the worst final boss in any From Software game
Oh,
besides maybe Aldia.
but we probably shouldn't focus too much on like the good bosses because like we have those in the other games too, so we should probably focus
We're
on
the
things
defense
that are
force. We got to
different.
bring up the good things.
Oh,
Well,
right.
if the good things are just that it's similar to the other games, then that won't count. You know, my point is that
Well,
it's worse
okay,
than
okay,
the other
that's
games.
fair.
I would guess to say like I would say the best parts about Elden Ring is the fact that it kind of ate the lunch of all other open world games in a lot of sense, and
Yeah.
it made the open world feel fresh, I guess. where
It's going to be like genre defining
Yeah.
you're
going
gonna
forward.
see. I guarantee you, going forward, so many games, whether they want to or not, are going to replicate what Elden Ring did, even if they don't want to. But they're
Oh,
going to have to.
that's the funniest thing. Elden Ring just did what Morrowind already did before. Like you could just explore the map and you could just suddenly find some new shit. And it's not like it's funny that this is like the new thing that is happening with an exploration game.
Well,
Like
I'm
I
not
agree
sure
that
if
there's a lot of hand holding in new open world games. Like I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla that and you could just find everything on the map and I
Exactly.
talked I talked about this with Mahler. Like why does this game feel like why is it like fun to explore? And like what Endymion said, it's like you literally don't know if we could like add something new, like like in addition to like a PC customization thing, like aside from like just pointing yeah, I think there are map markers in Elden Ring, right? But I don't remember if you
yeah,
could
there are.
They're limited.
specify like text
Yeah.
on it. Like I think that would be cool. Like actually this is the spot where NPC was or something. Like aside from
Well, the
merchants, like
NPCs
giving
should
you the
definitely be remembered. I don't know.
There's
No,
like
like,
two
okay.
changes I definitely think Elden Ring would need, either now or in a future game. One change, which I think Florian did in one of his videos, which I totally agree with, is once you complete a dungeon, there should be some kind of icon on the map telling you you have completed this dungeon. Just so like,
Mm,
because the map is so big, you might forget like, did I explore
you've
that
been
cave? Did I
there.
not explore that cave? You don't know.
Oh,
And there should be a little icon that tells you like, yes, you did beat the boss here. Don't worry, you finished it.
yeah. More
And the
importantly,
other,
if you have different characters, it'll be even harder to remember. So it's like really needed.
yeah, and then my other big change that I would make, not just in Elden Ring, really in every From Software game, these games need some sort of journal so that we can keep track of where
Absolutely, yeah.
NPC quests are. And I'm not talking about like it needs like an Assassin's Creed Skyrim journal where it's like go meet this person here and da 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 da. There's an icon on the map. No,
Just like a
Just
single player MMO
yeah,
game.
Yeah.
exactly. Just be like, okay, I met the the lady with the Shabriri grapes thing, and then she's like, I met her here. She said she would be around this area. Maybe I should check there. So like it gives you a general idea of where they are, but it's not like she's right here. Go stand here. Go talk to her.
Yeah.
Right?
Not
I don't
like
want to be like
hand-holding.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Like Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, in my opinion, like I love PlayStation games. Jesus Christ, does that game hold your hand? And that's why I love Elden Ring, because that's the thing I was talking about. I think I did, yeah, in my very first Western developer video. Like I played Horizon Forbidden West for about 1 week, and then the week after that, Elden Ring came out. Then I played Elden Ring to completion, came back to Horizon Forbidden West, and it was like Horizon just aged like 10 years. You know what I mean?
Fancy.
Because it's like you're playing these other open world games like Horizon. And it's like you enter a puzzle room, and right away Aloy's just like, you know what? I should climb up there and use a rope.
I hate
I think
that
I can
shit.
grab that. Oh, maybe if I grab that box, you know what I mean? And it's like, shut up. Let me just play the game. If I need help, I'll turn it on.
She's narrating what you have to do.
And then with like Elden Ring, what I love about it is like you just enter in and like your tarnished guy isn't like, oh, maybe I should go talk to this. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's just like you just go in and it's like you just see something in the distance and you're like, what the hell is that? And you go and you find out what it is, and oh, there's a boss fight. Oh, there's a secret thing. Like for example, none of us knew that Nokron, the Eternal City, existed, or like the ritual grounds or anything was under. We didn't even know there was an underground map. So when you found, I think it's
The
called
well.
Sapphira Well or whatever it's called,
yeah,
and you
the
go
well.
on that thing and it starts going down, and you're like, okay, it's going down. And then it keeps going down. You're like, okay. And then it keeps going down. And then suddenly there's like a night sky. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? And then suddenly there's like a whole underworld map. Like, that's amazing. If that was any other open world game, they would have told you to go there. They would have told you that was there to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait for
And the fact that-
Radon's sky. Wait for Radon's meteor in this area. Then the cutscene.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They show
It
you
would
where
be
the
like-
Starlands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
you'd
here
be playing it,
for
and then
epic
like
cutscene.
some NPC would be like, "Oh, you want to come here? Well, maybe if a meteor came down and blew up the entire land, you could go." You know what I mean? That would be how the Western developer
PG
would do it.
kind of does that, but yeah, it's
You know what I
it's
mean?
so cool.
And the fact that you just play Elden Ring and it's like, okay, you can go fight Radon. You don't have to, but if you fight Radon and you kill him, you see a giant meteor come down and explode, and you're like, holy shit, that was in the direction of Limgrave. What happened? And then you go back to Limgrave and you look around and suddenly there's like floating rocks because of like the gravitational power of the moon and all that stuff, and you're like, wait a second, what? And also there's just this giant hole in the ground. Like Western, any open world game wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
So
And
it's
the fact that
great.
Elden Ring would do that, it's
100%.
amazing.
It's great that we could just completely miss it, huh? Just and
Yeah,
what
exactly.
but what we get instead,
yeah.
but what we get instead is
See,
just
no.
horrible
This
dungeons.
This is why
really-
Elden Ring and all From Software games have such a passionate community that exists long. Like my last video I just made in 2022 was about Soul of Cinder, a boss in a game from 2016. You know what I
Awesome
mean?
video, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Is the fact that like because of these games like Elden Ring, they're designed so that they and Dark Souls, Sekiro, whatever, they're all designed this way so that we actually have to, as a community, come together and figure it out, and that makes longevity and that makes people talk about it, and that's why Elden Ring was like no one was shut up about that game for like months after it came out. Whereas when you're playing a Western game like Horizon, for example, there's nothing to discuss because they tell you everything already. The game ends. There's nothing to like. You can't really make a lore video about Horizon. What are you gonna talk about? Nothing. The game
I
tells
don't
you
know.
everything.
Someone made a lore video about Cuphead the other week.
Okay,
It
but
has,
you know what I
2
mean. Like,
million views or something.
okay, but like generally speaking, like when it comes to these open world games, there's a lot of show don't tell, but Elden Ring is like
Yeah.
the reverse of that.
Yeah, it's no
They
show.
don't tell you anything.
It's
They don't
just-
tell you anything, but that's why it's great. It's because the community can be like, "Oh, did you know if you kill Radon, a giant hole ends up?" Or for example, in like Dark Souls 3, for example, "Oh, did you know after you kill Osiris, if you go to that shrine behind him and you hit a wall randomly, you can travel into like a dark age realm backwards through time and fight champion Gundyr." But like if that was a Western game, they would have been like, "Oh, hit this wall and look, there's a ball. Look, we put an icon on your map so you know Champion Gundyr's here." You know what I mean? Like that's why games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, From Software, whatever, that's why they're so great, and that's why so many people love them, is because they allow us as a community to discover together. That's the number one thing.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna speak
but
for
it-
Florian now. But what's so bad
jeez.
about Elden Ring now, Florian? Let's get back.
That's the number one thing I think about the game. That's why so many people love it. It's because it's like that.
I mean,
If you
Yeah,
look
that,
at
Batty made
well, that
his
can't be
friend
right.
on
Actually,
that
that's
type of-
completely
yeah.
wrong because that's
Why?
exactly what we
What?
had in the other 3 games, and they didn't blow up like Elden Ring, the Dark Souls trilogy. So it can't be that, right?
Dark Souls 3 did really, really well,
Yeah, it
didn't
did
it?
well.
Or I'd have to
Yeah.
look it up.
I think they all did really well, but I think the reason why Elden Ring did what it did was because
I think
thing
it's-
about it. Open world games are one of the most profitable current trends in gaming. So maybe a lot of people
That's
looked at these
weird.
other games like Dark Souls, for example, and they're very linear and they're very like hardcore. People are like, "Oh, I don't really want to play that." And then Elden Ring was like, "This is open world. This is like you can go anywhere you want." So that was probably more of a way for new players to come in and play it because it was open world. So so a lot of these like modern gamers, I guess you can call them, a game like Elden Ring makes more sense to them because they're like, "Oh, open world. I know what open world is." But when you tell them you put them in like Dark Souls and it's like you put them in a game like that, they'd be like, "I don't know where to go," because you know it's very like linear based and there's a lot of corridors and stuff, and they'll get like confused easily. So Elden Ring was just sort of like a perfect storm when it came out, and like I said, it came out and it completely erased Horizon from the
from the map.
conversation. Like no
Yeah.
one even talked about that game when it came out. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, Horizon looks beautiful." Here comes Elden Ring, which doesn't look as good as Horizon, but it's better than Horizon in every other way, basically, because it doesn't treat you like a toddler. And that's what a lot of these open world games do. They treat you like you're an idiot.
And
A
I
lot
think
of
I
them do.
like. I think also just the Dark Souls brand got stronger through the years, right?
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah, so,
already.
like,
I
when
think
people
it got bigger. The player base got bigger and bigger, and now you add that the open, like what Endymion said, like the open world aspect. It is a perfect storm. I agree.
Another really good example of this would be the Witcher games, right? Witcher 1 comes out, very linear. Great game, but linear. Witcher 2 comes out, very linear, but a little more open, but like still pretty linear. And then what was the most successful game of the one everybody played? Witcher 3. Why? Because it was open world. Even though it's Witcher 3, it's the third game in the trilogy, right? But
Series, yeah.
that doesn't matter. It was open world, and to the people of the players at that time, that made sense to them. They're like, "Oh, open world, I want to play that." And then they play it, and they realize, "Holy shit! It has like all these amazing stories in it, and these characters, and it has multiple regions. Like you have the whole entire Skellige Islands and everything, right?" So, I think why Elden Ring was so popular and why it was so accessible is because it was open world. Whether we can talk about why it makes the game worse, that's the reason why it was so popular, why it did better than everything else. I think Elden Ring sold more in 1 month than Dark Souls 3 did in like a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's because it currently is above Dark Souls 3's entire
Existence.
Yeah.
Wait, for the whole lifetime, even
Yeah.
For Dark Souls 3,
holy shit.
Yeah, it had it had 700,000 concurrent players at one point on Steam. Can you believe that?
More than Babylon's Fall?
Yeah, a little.
Sorry.
Just a few.
Well, everything's more than Babylon's Fall, let's be real.
Ooh.
In Babylon's Fall, that's another, like, just to put it as an example, that's why Elden Ring did so well, is because you have games like Babylon's Fall, these live service games, and they're just like, they're failing constantly because they're not giving players what they want. And I think another reason why Elden Ring is so popular and so loved is because when you're playing it, look at all the spells in it, all the weapons, all the armor, all these things that if the Western devs made Elden Ring, which, no offense, I don't think they could make Elden Ring even if they tried. Actually, they did try. It's called Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, and look how that went. They did. Right? They said that Witcher was more of their thing, but anyway, this is why people love Elden Ring so much, is because it's a full game. Like right out of the box, there's no excuses. It's just like, here you go. Here's the game from beginning to end. There's no microtransactions. There's no live in our world BS. There's no dailies or whatever. just play the game. That's it. You know, and like to a lot of people that was like, oh, I'm getting a full game for the full price that I paid. This isn't like Marvel's Avengers or Far Cry or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, here's the game. You pay full price for it. Here's the full game.
Oh,
and
come
Western
on. Surely the other ones like Horizon, surely that one was a full game, right?
Yeah, but like I said, Horizon treats you like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really do play that game, you'll realize Aloy, the main character, never stops talking. And the reason why she never stops talking isn't because they just want her to talk constantly. They get her to never stop talking because they don't trust you as the player to figure out anything. They think you're stupid. That's why she's talking constantly. That's why when you enter a puzzle room, she goes, "Oh, I think I could pull that down with this. Oh, I could climb up there. What if I bring that box down? Oh, look at that
so
electrical." You know what I mean? That's why it's like that. And there's so many Western games that are like that.
Well, I guess
right?
I'll have to take your word for that one. Because I never.
Well, that's how it is.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Like a lot of these games treat you like you're an idiot.
And they're kind of scared of like, okay, well, all of these assets, all of this work, all of this dialogue that we've created, if the players miss that, there's going to be less buzz about that specific thing. The game is going to seem smaller. We're going to have less talk about it on social media, and we're going to get less sales. So they're trying to get players to experience everything they can to make everything feel bigger, everything feel like more complete, when it kind of sometimes just works in the opposite direction.
Makes you want to play it less.
Yeah, like
yes. It makes you think like
Ghost
Recon everything
here.
this game has to offer.
Well,
yeah, you look at like Ghost Recon Wildlands or something like that, right? Like these open world games, whatever. Even Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like I said earlier on in the podcast, like you play Valhalla and like you're not really exploring. You know what I mean? Like they tell you what's on the map.
Waypoint. Yeah.
You're just following the waypoints. Like, oh look, there's a little golden icon. That means I'm gonna get money here or gold or whatever. Oh look, there's a blue icon. That means there's a piece of gear here. Whereas Elden Ring is just like, There's a hole in that wall. I wonder what's down there. And then you go down there and there's a freaking magma worm. And you're like, what the hell's a magma worm? If it was a Western game, they would have told you what a magma worm is. Like, oh, well, a magma worm is when someone eats the hearts of dragons and basically tries to harness their power and then eventually corrupts them. And then they turn into like a belly, dragging monster thing. That's what a Western dev would tell you. But
Use water
Elden-
tarnished.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But in Elden Ring, it's just like you can just kill that thing and you don't need to know what it is. But if you want to know more about it, you can read the item descriptions. And then that, again, brings the community in. And then that's where people like me, V-Limit, Zeostorm, Smotown, da-da-da-da-da, so on and so forth, right? Ashen Hollow, everybody. Vadi Video, whatever. Quaylive.
Yeah.
Like all of them. You know what I mean? That's where we can all talk about it. And then that's why these games last for so long. Right? That's why I made a video 2 weeks ago about Dark Souls 2. That game's from like 14, 13? I don't even remember when it came out anymore.
14, I
I'm
thought.
old.
Wait, let me look it up.
Yeah, it's like that's an old ass game. Yet I made a video on that and it's doing well. So people still care about it, right?
March
Whereas
11th, 2014.
people don't care about games that just came out a month ago from a lot of these people that are open world and stuff because there's nothing to discover. It's all spelled out for you. And like even to this day, there's people finding out stuff about Elden Ring all the time. Like I didn't even know what the Bloodstar was, and V-Limit did a video on Bloodstar. I don't even know what that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like on my first playthrough, like I'm sure most people on their first playthrough, they see the giants and they're like, "Oh, what is that thing? What the giant sword?" Well, guess it doesn't matter. Like you can ignore something if you want to, but if
Yeah.
you want to look more into it, like it's there. Like the game is. This is. So there are a lot of games now that are like designed for creators, I guess for streamers. They're like, oh, we got to make this game highly watchable, highly
Like Hello
replayable,
Neighbor.
whatever.
Cinematic. We needed cinematic.
Yeah,
Yes.
it needs to be like an yeah.
And this game is kind of also
The
designed
opposite.
for creators in that way, but kind of more
In the
towards the
opposite.
stuff that we do, I guess,
Yeah.
which is awesome because it's not very common. Like there are other games, I guess, that kind of do that. Like Five Nights at Freddy's obviously does that, but I think it's such a cool thing.
Yeah, you guys are really living from it, huh? You two, just making all that content. Is that really?
'Cause there's-
is-
that's
is
the
that
thing,
really
though, is 'cause
good, though? Is it really great
Yeah.
that we can? Sorry, is it really great that like all this stuff will go completely unnoticed unless you look it up? Is that really worthwhile?
But
No, I
that's
think
what,
I
that's
think if
what
you
I'm
enjoy
saying.
the experience even without it,
I think
like
that's the balance that the game has. Like it trusts the player to do what they want with it.
Well,
I think it's
think
just that
it
a lot of
restricts
these a lot of these modern games, they're so terrified to let go of your hand and just let you explore. And Elden Ring just kind of goes, go wherever you want. We trust that whatever you have is your experience. And really, if
You enjoy
because
it.
the game doesn't tell you everything, that can actually encourage you to have multiple playthroughs. Like I said, my friend who no idea who the hell Moog was, and there's a few other bosses he never fought. Until I told him, I was like, "Yeah, dude, if you go lay down at Farum Azula at the bottom, you get like traveled through time, and you fight this like two-headed dragon that shoots like lightning out of his ass." My buddy's like, "What?"
yeah.
If it was a Western game, they would have told you, like, "Oh yeah, you would grab a quest on like on like a board, and you'd be like, kill Dragon Lord Pseudosax, get 20 coins or something for it." You know what I mean? But that's why these games are great, is because as a community we're all learning and exploring and like unraveling the onion as we play it.
But
And
we
that's
really,
why people love the game so much.
But we really are getting like a worse experience if we don't look stuff up. It's just bizarre. Like
No, I think it,
I don't know if it's
I-
worse.
oh please,
I don't-
those
like,
dungeons
I
that you
think you'd
find
still enjoy
on your
it.
own are just so bad. Like all of the graves are just such bad dungeons. I can't believe they put like 20,
Which graves?
30 of them. All of them. All the ones that give you like.
how about I do
I-
agree there's a
the
dungeon
two-
that I
Wait.
hate.
Wait,
The hero
What-
hero dungeons that have the train that just rams you. That I don't like.
yeah, those three.
I-
Well,
I
those
don't
are.
like. I don't like those. I
Yeah.
just skip it when I see the train. It's like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm not good.
Yeah, those are graves, right? What are they called? Crypts.
Heroes. I think Heroes Tomb. Or am I right? Am I right? Elden Ring lore
there's
master.
there's two types. There's the mines and then there's the tombs, right?
The naming scheme like changes between them, but yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I just call them
Yeah.
tombs.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
aren't those
the train dungeon. Fuck that shit. I don't like that shit.
but aren't they all awful? All of those tomb and mine
I don't, I
dungeons.
don't, I don't think so because again,
I like.
it's completely optional, so you don't have to do it. But I think that a lot of those things kind of tie into like what makes Elden Ring, Dark Souls, all these games work so well is because they're all about exploring and like as you die and you come back and you're so eager to find out what there is. Like for example, like there's like one of those like caves or something. It's not in Halleck Tree, but it's in the area above it, the big snow area. I forgot what it's called. Um,
Consecrated
just-
snowfield.
there you go. And you just go down some cave. And then you just run into like one of those Astel monsters, those big space monsters.
I actually didn't like that.
Yeah, that definitely makes
Yeah,
that
I don't like
space
the
monster
bull.
worse.
Yeah, the bull monster.
No, not,
No,
not
it's
the
not-
bull.
it's
There's,
not the
there's a
bull
different
monster,
one.
No,
It's
it's like
the-
a
Oh, it's a
full
different-
on, like another full Estelle.
It's like a
this
big,
one's called-
Oh,
like,
it's
like the
another
big,
Estelle. Oh my god!
it's like a big skeleton monster with like the big eye in its head and stuff.
Yeah, the
Oh,
fact
no.
that they made a second one of those is just like such a stupid choice. Wow, you have this
It's like
unique
Natural
enemy.
Born of the Void and then Stars of Darkness. And I think they don't really need it to because of where the Natural Born of the Void was. He was at the end of a quest for one of the endings of the game.
Yeah, the wife, the best.
Yeah, that's
ending.
exactly.
I mean, your
like,
point still stands on how like you can find like these crazy things in places that you would never expect. And sometimes you get like a reused asset and you're like, oh, it's like a rot pest is the boss. But sometimes you get really sick stuff like that.
well,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
that's just
sick.
that's just
It's another.
that's just the nature of open world games, though, right? Like it's impossible for them to make everything be, unique, I guess, in a game that
Yeah.
big and have it still come out at a reasonable time, right?
And it being a new IP kind of doesn't help for where they have to reuse the assets, like because it's a lot more obvious. For example, like the Smo, the prelates, some people don't immediately make that connection because it's from a previous game. But they can't take everything from Dark Souls. So sometimes if it's a whole new boss move set, like the Godskins, they're kind of like the worst example. When they have to reuse that, they have to do it from something that started from the exact same game and you've already seen before, which kind of sucks, but like they kind of have to do it.
Well, that's not actually that true because basically Elden Ring is just like Dark Souls 4. It's so similar that you basically can't argue that it isn't.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, even the like the screen that shows your character when you're logging out of the game, it's the
Yeah,
same
that's
as Dark
Dark
Souls
Souls.
and Elden Ring.
Yeah.
A lot of the enemies are the same, but you can fight those little bug-eyed basilisk guys, and you can fight the rats look the same too.
Yeah.
I
But
think this has
but
to do with the fact. This is why I still think Elden Ring to some degree is connected to Dark Souls, like storyline wise to some degree, even though a lot of people don't think
Very
that.
much. No, it's
But, like,
gotta be like it would be impossible to ignore. Like half the weapons are straight from Dark Souls. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, like Zweihander's in there,
accidentally.
Claymore, they have the same
Why-
icons.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
And it's
just
the
like
same publisher, too.
rebrand. Yeah, it's just a
It's
rebrand.
Bandai
It's,
Namco,
it's,
so.
it's nothing else. It's ridiculous. But V-Link made a good point. I mean, I'm actually like more confident now in an Elden Ring 2. Because if they add like more bosses, then the reuse will be less awful, and maybe they'll even listen and cut like half of the stupid stuff, but probably not. But even if they don't, I guess it'll be better in some way. So I guess that's
I would prefer, honestly, like I know they're gonna make an Elden Ring 2 because it's just success. I'd be
Yeah.
okay if we never got another one, because I still prefer, like for me, like the way Dark Souls 3 set up and Dark Souls 1. That's still my favorite level design in any game, but it's
Yeah.
just they're going to do it because Elden Ring clearly made more money than Dark Souls 3 did in its lifetime, basically in like
Yeah.
1 month. So
yeah, that's
it's gonna
exactly what I hated is the fact that now they have to do another one. If only people had been like responsible and they would have liked the better version of the game, which was Dark Souls 3. But no, they just had to just really love this one with all the really.
But I do
awkward
think that
stuff.
for their very first like
Open world
attempt at an open world game,
Pretty good.
it feels like they've been doing it for years when you play it, like the confidence of it, especially just like how the map looks. Is again, I keep using Ubisoft games as an example, but it's true. Like
We're just
You
not
play,
leaving
like-
them alone.
I know. I
Yeah.
just keep beating them while they're
No,
down. So like,
yeah, let's just bully them. It's fine.
it's true though. Like
I'm
when
down.
you play Valhalla, for example. And here's the thing: I don't hate Ubisoft games. I literally have the platinum trophy in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey,
Wow.
and Valhalla.
Why do you
100%
bother? Why do you love achievements so much?
I'm a trophy whore.
I love
just-
achievements.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I have almost all the From Software games platinum. I just got to do Dark Souls 3 and I have all of them.
Wait,
So-
isn't that like incredibly? Isn't that incredibly hard with the Elden Ring map that doesn't show you anything?
Elden Ring was actually the easiest platinum.
The achievements
out of all
are
of them.
actually, yeah, they're kind of simple.
Yeah,
In
they're
all the
pretty
Souls
easy.
game, they kind of make it like,
they're
just
more
get
tied
every
to
miracle.
defeating the enemy. Yeah, in Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, you can do it all in one playthrough, thankfully.
Yeah.
And you can just
Yes.
save scum at the end and get all the different endings. And then here's all your
Dark
trophies.
Souls, it's
Wait, you
like,
can save
you
scum?
need multiple of the same.
Yeah,
How-
you save
How do
scum.
you do
also.
that? Do you
So
rely on
all you
Steam?
do, so that's what I do.
on
If you're
PC.
playing Elden Ring, well, even on PS5, this is what I did. So get to the end of the game, beat the final boss, whatever, but don't pick an ending. Exit your game, upload your save to like whatever cloud, or just copy your save however you do it on PC, and then go back into your game, and then do like the Age of Fracture ending, right, which is like the basic ending. Trophies pop or whatever it is, achievement. Exit the game, re-download your save, overwrite your save. Now you're back before you had a choice again. Now do the Ronnie ending. Got the Ronnie trophy, and then rinse and repeat, and then probably
Wow.
leave the Frenzied Flame ending last, because you have to go down to the
You got
bottom and then
whole,
like
yeah.
yeah,
guild
and then just
request.
get that trophy, and then once that trophy's done, just exit the game again, re-download your save. Voila, you have all the trophies, and you technically haven't picked an ending, and now
What's-
you're good.
What's the point if you're just gonna cheat? That's crazy.
Well, that's just for trophies. Like, who cares, right? Like, that's just
you
me doing that.
care? But why
Well, like,
do you care?
I just, well, mostly reason why I would do that is just because, like, footage wise, I need like the endings, like footage.
No,
So
that's
just
just
record it?
optimizing your play
I need my
experience
gamer
for it. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
just gaming.
yeah.
Yeah, this is just
This is but anyway. Getting back to Elden Ring's open world, like the reason why it's such a great open world is because, like I said, when you play these other Ubisoft games or whatever, like Valhalla, for example, is very flat. Like England's just flat, and it's just a lot of like running straight, monotone. And the reason why a lot of these kind of games don't work is because you're never really surprised by what happens. Like if some dude jumps out of a bush and attacks you in Assassin's Creed, you're like, whatever, I'll just kill him, it's fine. But like in Elden Ring, I could just be like on my horse going somewhere, and there's a lot of verticality to the map too. And I love how you can like use those big like wind gusts to like jump up really high and get up to places. And the fact that like you could just be walking and then like just something happens. You know? Like there's that moment in Lendell, if you take the I forgot what it's called. It's like the secondary option to get into Lendell when you fight the magma worm up that side rafter area.
That's the one I.
And then
Oh,
The
yeah,
elevator,
it's
there's
like
an
the
elevator to a graveyard.
precipice
right?
of something.
yeah, you do that place, and like you're just going up, and then you see all these like turned over carriages, and you see these omen and stuff, and they've like killed all their captors, and then you're
And the
just walking.
dragon.
Yeah, the dragon just comes down. It's
Yeah,
just like this huge fucking dragon,
Oh,
like
I
red
hate
lightning
that
and shit.
dragon.
And you're like, holy
You just
shit!
run.
You know what I
I
mean?
just ran.
No, don't,
If-
it
Like
doesn't
that moment,
doesn't he
that moment-
disappear if you attack him?
yeah, you fight him again in.
He moves up against
Missoula.
the ramparts if you
Or-
get her to like
or
halfway.
Oh,
I think-
is that how it works?
This is what I'm talking
I
about.
think,
In
like-
like,
Yeah.
in like a Western game, if that moment was supposed to happen, it would happen in an
you.
enclosed space with a cutscene. You know what I mean?
or
Yeah,
there's
so,
a
like,
there's,
instead
a,
the
there's a
dragon
pointer
kills you.
for it. Or like,
Yeah, but like, yeah, or something. But like in Elden Ring, you're just walking or riding your horse, whatever, and then all of a sudden there's just a gigantic ass dragon about to kill you. You're like, holy shit, what just happened? You know what I
I
mean?
think
And that's the thing. You
my
never
moment-
feel safe in Elden Ring.
my
Ever.
moment for that was in Caelid, like the chest in the beginning area, and then it just teleports you to the mine in Caelid. That was like, oh my god, I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
think
the
I was
thing, right?
supposed to be here.
Most
Yeah,
open world
That
games
was
you
good.
play, you never feel like you're in danger because you're always like,
it's
you
a
can just
theme
open up the
park.
map. Yeah, you just open up the map, and then a little icon tells you like, "Oh, don't worry, you're in the level 1 to 5 zone." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Anything I run into this area will be level 1 to 5, so I can't die." But in Elden Ring, I'm just playing the game, and like if I go to Caelid, there's a giant monster bear. There's these giant crows that look like they're out of Berserk or something. You know what I mean? There's a
And
giant
like the
squall.
mimic tier enemies that like you kill them and then all of a sudden, whoa, there's something else.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of surprises when you're playing the game. That's why it's so much better than a lot of open world games. Is because of that. Because there's
Yeah, it's
actual
like a-
being surprised.
it's a literal open world. Like you said this earlier, Endymion. Like it's like a single player MMO. You said like the
That was
common.
me who said that.
Oh, sorry.
that was
I'm joking. I don't care who the
Yeah.
no.
credit
That's
goes
like
to that.
that was a bad
No, it's fine.
example. I think that's what he means when like the map has all the markers on it and you're supposed to do them, right? That's a single player MMO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of
That's
open world
not how you
games
should
kind
do
of
When you
it.
have like
Yeah.
a quest log and it's a bunch of fetch quests, it's like get 7
Yeah.
apples.
Yeah, a lot of open world games. It doesn't feel like you're exploring. It
Yeah.
feels like you're cleaning up the map.
Well, I feel like
Of
this
icons.
is.
Yes, that is
I feel like
That's
this
what
is
it feels like.
definitely worse because it's like the complete opposite of it. Because you never find like the cool stuff without looking it up, and then you just get spammed with the same dragon fight a million times, and I hate it so much.
But at least in Elden Ring's defense, when you fight the dragons, a lot of them have something unique about them that they can do. For example, like you can fight the one dragon.
Yeah,
Where
they all
you-
either have different breath
Oh please,
or
just
different attacks
colors.
like a Dula does. And the only exception where dragons are like the same are the ones in Dragon Barrow, which are tied to
Grey
the big
roll.
one, Grail, where if you kill
Grey
all
roll,
5
Grail,
of them,
whatever.
Grail dies, or if you kill Grail, all the dragons dies. And then there are I think there are 2 near Adula's second location. But like
But
all
when
the
you-
dragons
when
are
you-
unique, even though they use the same skeleton
and when
basic
you kill
moveset.
them, you get their heart, and their heart's like, and then you turn it in, and then you can get abilities. So there's like actual reason to fight the dragons. You know what I mean?
Well, I'd rather there wouldn't be because it's the same fight every time. I'm sorry, it really is.
Not really though.
Oh,
'Cause
please, it is.
Some dragons just breathe fire and they attack with their tail. Fine. Then there's some dragons that can spawn like a giant sword in their mouth, like a magic
Yeah,
sword.
Adula. Like
And
Sif.
they like swipe you with it, right? Some dragons have like big red lightning that they're like fucking stabbing you with. You know what I mean? Like they have difference to them. Would I like more? Of course. But again, it's an open world game. There's a lot of stuff they got to do. So if that's one of the areas where it's lacking a little bit, in a sequel they could probably do more. It's fine, but I think it's okay. I think it's those dragons are better than the fucking Skyrim dragons. Skyrim dragons are all the same.
Yeah, but in
They,
Dark
they just
Souls
land
1,
and you spank them.
in Dark Souls 1, like each dragon is like crippled in some weird way, and that's the best because having
That's
a
because
dragon.
Dark Souls 1 is a Metroidvania style game. It's not open world though.
Yeah, but just having the dragon just fly over randomly is just so boring, and he just spams his breath down. The only dragon that was halfway interesting in this game was the one that was on the bridge, because you know that he was at least gonna be like flying over the bridge instead of just randomly flying about. It's such
A
a
bridge in Elden Ring, which
the
dragon?
one near the Beast
Near
Sanctum,
the
right?
priest.
the one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The werewolf priest.
yeah. He's a bit like the
Love that
Dark
guy.
Souls 1 dragon where he just flies over the bridge and spams the bridge while you're on it, and that's kind of interesting. But then the other ones just spam like forever, and I hate that they could just.
I
Fly
mean, I guess,
away.
but like that's the thing, right? Like a lot of these games that have like long legacies, they always bring enemies back from other games and stuff. And at least, and I think in terms of From Software games, they have a lot of leeway and a lot of stuff that they can pull from that makes it interesting. So, okay, the dragons do fight similar in a sense, but I think that's fine because there's so many different enemy types that you can fight throughout the game. There's not just dragons, right? There's so many different enemy types in that game. There's so many like, I'm bringing up fucking Western games again. There's so many Western games you play. There's just not that many enemy types. You know, it's just like dude with armor, dude with this, whatever, and that's it. Elden Ring has that too. Elden Ring also has like tons of different stuff too, like tons of enemies, a lot of variety, and I really enjoy that. I love that actually.
I really wish
Yeah,
there was
and-
even more. I guess it's weird. It just like I feel like the previous games just had more variety because like they didn't reuse everything so much. But yeah, I guess we're gonna.
I think Elden Ring has the most variety out of any of the From Software games, just in terms of scope and
Well, yeah, but
everything.
if you spread it too wide, then you have
I think
less
Dark Souls
variety.
3 beats it just a little.
If you just
I
have
love Dark Souls
like
3.
if you just reuse the enemies a lot, then you'll have less variety. Like, how long does it take to beat this game? Like 80 hours? Like, you'll be
I
fighting.
mean, if you
My
explore
first
everything,
run
it's
was like
probably-
40 hours.
Really? My
40
first run was like
Jesus.
120.
Yeah, that's crazy. 40
Well,
hours.
you also have to remember I played on easy mode and did a Dragon Breath build, so
Okay,
like
that's
bosses were like boom, second try every time.
Oh well, that's good, I guess. Good
Yeah,
to
I
know.
was killing everything with a sword and shield basically.
All my future runs I didn't play as
insane.
disgusting. I,
Because I just like to kill big mythical shit with just a sword. See if I can do it.
I love being me all like huge explosions and just like shooting stuff. I love that.
Yeah, I did a sword the first time, and on the second run, I'm just spamming magic at them.
Yeah,
I
Florin, what's your vit here in your gameplay? Because you die a lot.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I do die a lot.
where are we seeing
my-
gameplay?
oh,
I'm,
my-
I don't, I'm not looking
On
at
his
any
stream,
gameplay.
on his stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't
Oh,
look?
are we on a stream?
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
we're on stream. Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought we were just like recording this. Okay, let me check.
Holy shit!
Hello, chat.
I
Oh, there's a chat.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Is
chat.
there a chat? I would assume.
Holy shit!
My bad. I didn't know any of this. I'm just sitting here in my fucking on my couch.
Yeah, I got low vitality.
It's okay, no
I'm
one can
playing-
see.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
a
live.
magic build.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Are you
like-
playing right now or just this footage?
No, it's footage.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
I was thinking of like
could've
trying
seen
to
this all
like
along.
level 1 no hit
Bad.
builds just for like
Oh
B-roll
god,
footage.
that would be so cancer. You just die from everything all the time.
No. I just do it over and over and over until I get it, and then I'm like, all right, there we go. That's the background footage. And I would just do like a Vike build or something. Love Vike, cool guy.
How often will you have to play to no hit this game? This is crazy. Or
When
would you
did it?
just cut
I mean,
out?
I would segment it so it's just per boss.
Ah, okay.
Wait a minute. How much health do you have?
Yeah, way too low.
Yeah, that's why I asked because he got one hit. No, not one hit. Like
Yeah, as I
Vike
said earlier,
really.
this is
Yeah, it's
Bigger
a little
check.
bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was trying to
bigger
do a PvP build where I can invade the low level people, but it didn't work out because it won't let me invade anymore. It's real tragic, you know.
Your
mean.
weapon level also is factored in.
Yeah, I also left that pretty low, so tragic. Maybe there's something that kind of factors into it that I don't know about. Maybe if you
Oof.
kill too many bosses, who knows? Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the magic runs in these games you just not they're just not as interesting to me. But that's just how I play games. I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted to do it for PvP.
No, that's fair. I like default to like the flashiest playstyle in every game I play. I'm like, oh, what can I just make the hugest explosion?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the what weapon is that?
This is the
This is the
Moonveil.
katana, right? The Moonveil katana.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
one
yeah,
that,
okay.
that you gotta
Ah.
Why
use.
don't you
That's
use
one
the
that, like,
sword?
that's
Why
one that,
don't you
like,
use the
down.
Yeah,
spam? Just spam it. I love
Yeah,
that one.
L2, R2.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's,
just
it's,
go-
it's kind of short range. The spells are better if you're an int build.
But it scales with your int, right? This scales
It-
with your
it's
int.
really short range.
The
like I
Moonveil
said.
is so
No, but
broken.
you just have But this weapon's good in like if you spam the weapon art.
I use
guess.
Rune Greatsword. That's my way of
No.
playing the game.
Ooh,
Yeah, this-
I,
I'm
the
gonna
wife-
that
I
one.
wife-
love like crushing dudes with it.
Oh yeah,
The
that
wife
one's pretty
of
cool.
The weapon art like sucks it's like love that one.
Is it the
I
first
love that
one?
Rune Greatsword.
Oh wait, which one is? Oh, that one, right? The really purple one that has all the power. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's like a part of Farum Azula. Basically, it's like a chunk of it.
And like everyone sees it and they're like, oh, Estelle ruined Farum Azula. Like I
love that.
not exactly what it says, but
Does that take a lot of skill, or or do you just spam everything with that attack?
I
depends
just
on the
crushed
kind of enemy. It beats small stuff really easily.
Blasphemous Blade's good too. If you want to try
How
something
that
else.
weapon's broken.
Oh, that
Yeah.
weapon.
There's some
That's
That
the
one-
one,
that
where,
also heals you.
where you fly in midair and you throw the red thing. Am I
No,
remembering
you
correct?
like
Oh.
lift the sword really high and shoot out a bunch of flames that sap HP.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
And when you kill stuff, you
Is that
heal
the
yourself.
Moog weapon or no?
It's the right card.
card weapon.
Okay.
Right card's a great
Like how
boss.
in sync we are for recognizing all the weapons.
Yeah, I love those weapons. Oh, so good.
Yeah, I
These
guess
are the
everyone.
ones
knows
That's how I play these games. I always play heavy armor, big weapons,
I
crush
like,
everything in existence.
I like looking up all the weapons. Yeah, I try to find like the best sword, but I didn't get the frozen one yet. That one would be good for intelligence. But
Oh, the
On my first run, I tried to just like use what I got, and it kind of made me get a broken build because I got Reduvia with the fight with Yura in the little canal. So, and that scaled with Arcane. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to build Arcane. And then later in the game, this was before it was patched, and this was before the scaling actually worked on it. It was still broken, but when I picked up Rivers of Blood and saw that it's scaled with Arcane, I was like, oh, I'm going to use this. And it's more fun to me to just like pick up whatever I find and see what works, experiment a bit, level up whatever I like, and then look it up on later runs.
is Arcane any good? I thought that was such a weird stat because it doesn't scale.
It's
with
good
anything,
specifically
right?
on that build. Like it's bad on most builds.
Yeah, it
when
doesn't
it first
scale
came,
on
when
other
this is
stuff.
one of the
game
best in the
first came out, when the game first came out, Arcane wasn't very good, and then they patched it, and now it's like amazing.
Wow.
Now it's like totally worth using. Before, no, not at all.
You can also get potentially the highest spellcasting modifiers with Arcane builds. You combine Arcane and Faith and get the Dragon Communion seal.
Yeah,
For faith, right? Yeah,
It scales with both, and it has S scaling in Arcane, which is kind of
Right.
goofy.
but it's only for incantations, right?
Yes.
yeah, it's for the dragon stuff.
There's a staff that scales with Faith as well. The staff of the guilty, I think, is how you get the highest spellcasting modifier with staffs.
Well, I think it's the one Prince of Death. I think, yeah. If you got 80/80 faith and int. Well, yeah, that's.
Oh yeah,
So
and that one also
crazy.
enhances the death sorcery. Some of those are decent.
I should try those.
But anyway, just want to say, Elden Ring's a great game.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going back on all of your points, I think there are some flaws. I mean, there are flaws with all
Yeah,
the
like in
Souls
any
games.
game.
Like
Yeah.
torrent movement is like, it's just like, ugh. But I think out of any open world game I've ever played, Elden Ring is the number one best at taking the word like exploration. So just like exploring the unknown, being surprised by what you find, being amazed by what you find. I don't think any game does that better. And I think that's why, even with all of its flaws, I think Elden Ring is great.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
its only competition right now would be God of War Ragnarok for Game of the Year when that comes out,
Ah,
probably.
I don't
I'm
know if-
excited
Oh,
for
the one
that.
that's not even out yet. Wow. Oh, was the old one good? The other God of War?
Oh hell yeah!
Yes.
Yeah, I still need
In
to
my
play
opinion.
that one. Was that
It was
open world
okay.
too, or is it linear?
It's linear.
It's
You can
semi
explore-
open,
It's
a little
semi-open.
bit.
Yeah. There are areas where you could like roam around.
It's more
But-
like, yeah, combat game.
Yeah, it's like.
And that's funny because when you play that game, its combat feels very Souls-like.
Oh,
It does.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with me that the angle of the camera is kind of weird for God of War?
I
think
didn't
it's
have an
fun.
issue with
Oh,
it.
it's over the shoulder, isn't it? Yeah, that would suck
Yeah.
for
It
me.
plays like you're playing a Dark Souls game, kind of like.
No, that
I
one
know,
is
but
not over
I-
the
Kind of.
shoulder.
No, but I
No,
disagree.
I'm just saying the way
I-
God of War plays the new one. That's how it plays.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. The new one, the Ragnarok one, that would be good.
Well,
yeah,
Ra-
you
yeah,
can just
Ra-
rotate the
Ragnarok and-
camera.
Well, not
That's good.
Ragnarok, right? The other one.
Yeah. Oh no.
The 2018
No.
one.
I don't know. I didn't like it because it.
I also have like a very high tolerance for bad cameras. I think one of the
Yeah.
first games I
Yeah,
played
clearly.
was Super Mario Sunshine. That game's
yeah.
camera is terrible, and I,
Okay.
as a kid, never realized it.
Well, yeah, as a kid, but like it's pretty crazy that they still have a really bad camera in Elden Ring. Like the lock-on is
Is
just
it?
so bad.
I think It depends
Yeah.
on the enemy
enemy
that
you're
you're fighting.
fighting.
Like the
Yeah, 'cause it's
ulcerated
from-
tree spirits. If you
Yeah,
lock
I
onto
was
those,
gonna
it's like
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're-
Yeah, that's kind of a rule
gonna
with
say-
like every Soulsborne game though. You never really lock on to big enemies
Yeah,
like dragons or anything. Like when I literally just beat when I was replaying Dark Souls 3, I just rebeat Dark Eater Midir. Like I don't lock onto anything when I fight that thing.
yeah. Well,
'Cause
it's
it's a
too
nightmare.
bad. You should be able to use that feature. It's crazy that they made like more bullshit enemies that jump up really high all the time and go all around.
all the
you.
hawks. Ugh.
And they haven't fixed the camera
I like the
for
Hawks.
it. Oh yeah, the Hawks are awful. But like The camera really needs so much work. Why can't we just like move the camera a little bit while locked on? And why don't you just make it so that if the enemy goes over you, it doesn't like look at the sky? What are you kidding me? Like that's such an easy fix. Just don't look all the way up.
Yeah, I think that's mostly enemy design that I would change before the camera, I guess. Because if something's like on a ledge above you, you do actually want the camera to look up like that. But if like a hawk kind of switches, like goes over your head and your camera's locked and your whole screen just like flips, that's so like disorienting.
Well, yeah, but often they jump up really high, like that Malekith or whatever he's called, the one with the bloody sword that cuts your health.
Yeah,
in half.
Malekith, basically the furry version of Slade Nav Gale. Yep.
Yeah, that one's
So cool though.
that one has the worst camera if you look on. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I would say Malekith. That, like I said, that boss is just a little too strong. But I think just Melania's. That's the one I hate the most. But that's just me.
Yeah,
I know a lot of
really-
people love Melania. That's fine.
You
I don't really like her.
need to make those videos. I really
Yeah, I
want
think
more
you should make a
people.
video on that.
Right.
I would watch
Yeah.
that Millennia. I mean, I would dislike it, leave an angry comment, probably like dox you. I don't know. I love that fight.
Unsubscribe.
No,
Yeah.
I would love that.
I don't like
Yeah,
Melania at all.
Like you can hear the furious like, I can't believe that you dislike Melania fight.
Yeah.
Oh my, I subscribed from you since day one, and then yeah.
How could you betray me like
How
this?
could you betray me like this? I unsubscribe.
I just don't like that she heals. It's just so annoying. It's just lame.
Yeah, and I can't
don't
believe
know.
anyone would defend that. That's bizarre.
Yeah, there's just like I said.
I don't know.
She
I
feels
like
like
that.
a Sekiro boss.
What, the
in an Elden Ring
healing?
game.
You like the healing?
I like that it was a way to force you to not use spirits in a way that wasn't just like, oh, you're not allowed to use them.
Hey, check it out. I'm using stealth here. Great.
I just don't like. I just don't like this. The spirit summon ashes for me. That was like the one thing I didn't like the most about the game because it felt like it was mandatory in the end game.
Yeah. I don't like that they balanced around them.
Yeah, because that's what I'm talking about. Because it feels like
And then some are
a lot of-
way better than others.
Well, the
Yeah,
worst.
like the mimic is ridiculous.
Mimic. Yeah, I love that thing.
I hate when people say that we should play these games without the spirit summons, without making them easier. That those people are fucking insane. No, I don't want to like use a sword against a guy who summons like two people to fight me. No thanks. Okay.
But see, that's the thing. The only reason why that guy summons enemies is probably because they want you to use spirit summons while you're in that fight.
Yeah, he uses them specifically.
You know what I mean?
They are specifically those ashes too that you can use.
Maybe this is why I think Dark Souls
That
3
fight's
and
actually
Sekiro
terrible.
have the
I hate
best
that.
the best bosses and stuff because a lot of those bosses it's just a 1v1 and that's it.
Yeah, Dark Souls
Everything
2
has like a
had the
clear
same thing.
answer for how to beat it. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you have the mechanical like knowledge and reactions and all that, like you will come out on top correctly.
Yeah.
While in Dark Souls, it's like if you don't have the right build, it's kind of hard to get the right, or not Dark Souls, Elden Ring. If you don't have the right build, it's kind of hard to get openings without using certain tools in ways that just aren't very fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so bizarre. It's like Dark Souls 3 is just so perfect and it's just so crazy how they had to add this entire open world to it just to make it appeal to everyone.
Yeah, but that's just like what
NPC
trends are, right?
masses.
Yeah. Well, it's bizarre. I don't know who these people are who play games like, oh, open world, I guess that means it's good somehow. Like what do they do? Like
That's because a lot of people out there they equate the amount of time they can get out of a game with how much they want to spend on it. You know what I mean? So if a game is like full price and it's only like 10 hours long, a lot of people don't want to buy it at full price in that sense. But if they hear like, oh, Elden Ring, you play for like 100 plus hours, they're like, oh, okay, that's worth my money. I don't really agree with the whole like money equals time played argument when it comes to games, but like that's just unfortunately the reality with a lot of people. That's how it is, you know?
yeah,
We really can't change that about people. That's just how people are.
I mean,
That's
like,
just how they are.
it's too bad that they don't realize that it has less replay value this way. Like I played
Yeah, but
the
like
other
I
ones
feel like
more.
most people are just gonna play it through once and then they'll be done with it for the most part, just because due to how big it is, which is a good thing and a bad thing depending on how you are as a player. But Yeah, I would agree that Elden Ring probably has one of the worst replay values, just because of how big it is.
Yep.
But I still think its first playthrough was like pretty magical.
I mean,
But that's me.
my magic was pretty quickly shattered when I just had to fight that tree penis dragon again, like so many times,
The
and
tree penis.
the ulcerated tree penis. It's just so it's
The
such a horrible
lapidated tree
fight.
penis.
He's just in closed areas sometimes. Oh my god.
No, I hate that. Yeah, that's one of the first one of the
Yeah.
first dungeons you can enter, right? After the game, like the blocked area with the stone gargoyles is that fight. I dropped my I ran through that shit. I managed to get down in an early level, and it's the ulcerated tree spirit. It's just fucking around. It's like, what the fuck is this boss?
There was a video I think Zully the Witch did about it. It was like
Oh,
it was
nice.
it was a cut boss from Dark Souls 3, the tree spirit.
That's oh really?
Wow,
Yeah,
luck,
something like that. Should look it up.
lucky Dark
They have-
Souls
they have a
3,
video
I
about-
guess.
Oh my god,
He
that was
was-
supposed to be
yeah.
a Dark Souls boss. My god.
Well, I probably
Yeah,
wouldn't have
at some
moved as
point it was
fast.
supposed to be something like that. That's what Zully discovered, that it was supposed to be
Oh
a Dark
my
Souls
God.
boss at some point, but they changed it for some reason.
I
It
guess
should not
it
have
was
been.
too fast. Yeah.
I don't think it should have been in. Yeah, I don't think it. No, not even in Elden Ring.
But this is the thing. There's bosses in a lot of these games that I think don't fit into their games. For example, like I think
Mhm.
Sir Alone from Dark Souls 2 is too fast for the game that he's in. I think he would work much better in a Dark Souls 3 kind of style. And that's just how it is. I think Demon of Hatred should be a Bloodborne boss, not a Sekiro boss, but it is. I think Millennia should be a
Just move
Sekiro
them
boss, not an Elden
around.
Ring boss, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just really hope From Software doesn't go in the direction of Millennia going forward. It makes more bosses like her,
Oh no.
because that would be really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like
spectacle's fine, but not the gameplay mechanics.
I feel like this is such a turning point for From Software, because I feel like they could totally take like all the wrong lessons from Elden Ring and just make
Yeah.
like Elden Ring 2 twice as big, twice as many copy pasted bosses. Hell yeah! Oh,
I
man,
think
that would
From
be so
Software is
bad.
smarter than to do that.
Oh yeah. I think they're smart
And also,
enough.
they've already said they're making other games right at the same time. So, they were making Sekiro in between. They made Sekiro and Elden Ring at the exact same time. Sekiro was obviously finished first. Now they're doing apparently Armored Core next. And if Armored Core
Which I'm
ends up
super
being,
excited for.
yeah, if they do Armored Core and it's like a science fiction style Soulsborne game, but like
Ugh.
you're in a giant, you're in like a giant mech and you get to customize the mech in like different parts and stuff, and then you fight like giant monsters. But what would be really cool is if like, because apparently the game takes place on some alien world or something, according to the leaks. So what would be really cool in that game is if you're in a giant mech fighting giant monsters, but then you could like go into like smaller areas and then like jump out of your mech and then you're playing it like a Dark Souls game.
Damn, that would be so cool.
I actually want them to keep the Souls influence like kind of far away from Armored Core, if possible.
Oh wow.
Maybe, but I mean like
I mean, I love
Technic-
Souls, obviously, but
technically Sekiro was supposed to be a Tenshu game, and then it became what it was,
Yeah.
right? So like,
Oh, nice.
even though Sekiro has Souls like Soulsborne, whatever stuff in it, it's still its own thing. So if they could do the same thing with Armored Core, I think it'd be amazing. Like I said, imagine you're fighting like a big ass alien monster, and you're like in a mech, and you're just beating the absolute shit out of it, and then like at some point, it like you have to get inside of it to kill it, and you like jump out of your mech, and now you're in like third person like Dark Souls Elden Ring style, and you like go inside the monster and like fucking kill its heart, like because you're smaller to go inside of it,
Wow,
like, that'd be wicked.
amazing. Wow.
right? Because then they could have both the big epic bombastic fights, but then they could also have those like personal human sized fights at the same time. And then you have all the customization of the mechs and stuff. So I think it could be really cool. But again, I don't know. Right? I don't know if that's how they're going to do it. No idea.
I haven't played Armored Core ever, so this will be my first Armored Core. That would be interesting.
Yeah, were
Yeah.
they any good before?
Before they're generally like just like
I
third
like
person mecha games, like you just giant mechs shooting each other and stuff. But like again, like you can't look at that and say that's how it's going to be now going forward. I think it's going to be more like a Soulsborne style game, but it'll be with giant mechs, which will be
We'll
sick.
see. We'll see.
Yep.
And just like the scope of like the map, how they could make it, like levels and stuff, how big things would be in relation to how big the mech would be, right? Because you'd have to make the level big enough so that the mech can't just like climb everything instantly. It's a
That'd be-
gigantic robot.
That would be crazy having such a huge map, I guess. I
Yeah,
guess it
usually
doesn't have
mech
to be.
games don't really like pay attention to the map. It's like kind of relatively featureless area, and it's just the fights that matter.
But this
Yeah,
is
of
from
course.
software, so who knows,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Especially like from software now. So that could be really interesting. And like I said, you could find like a cave or something and your mech can't fit, so you jump out of your mech and then it's like you're just running around as a little guy, go in the cave, find some shit, jump back in your mech and just keep going. That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
I guess
I already
it's-
said this earlier. I'm kind of just like a fan of, the flashier something is, the better. I would kind of prefer like a full over the top mech game. Do you know about their one game where you play as the president of the United States and get in a mech and like fight everything yourself? It's
Echo
so
Wolf
funny.
Chaos.
Yes, it is
Mecha game,
hilarious.
wow.
And
But
they
there's also a
recently
nin-
released it for the first time in the West.
Yeah. There's also a ninja game that they did that did not sell well.
I did not play that one.
Yeah.
From
Iron
software game?
Pineapple did it. Yeah. What's that game called?
I don't know.
I
was
don't
this
remember.
Yeah, there's a weird ninja game. Ninja. Fine.
What does that
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
do
a-
with this?
Ninja Blade. Yeah, there it is. Ninja Blade. I don't know if it's
No,
available
I need to
on
go back and
Steam.
play. I need to play Kingsfield.
Wow.
I
Oh,
would
there's a
actually love it if
Kingsfield
they-
like
Well,
in
Kingsfield's
Steam right
basically
now.
Dark Souls, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
that
first
can't
person
be
The
good.
Dark
Demon
right?
Souls,
Souls
yeah.
before Demon Souls.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just good for history. I can't imagine it being a fun game.
I don't know. For me, if I could like take the reins of From Software and be like, this is what we're making next, I would not make Elden Ring 2 for a while. I would probably go either a Bloodborne 2 or a Sekiro 2. That's way more interesting in my opinion. Apparently, based on what I heard, From Software is still contracted to make at least 2 more games exclusively with Sony. So Bloodborne was number
No.
1.
Oh, that sucks. No.
So if they do make anything else, like they're still contracted for 2, so probably a Bloodborne 2. It's been 7 years since, so maybe, who knows? But yeah, that's what I heard, that they're at least contracted for 2 more. Whether that's a Bloodborne 2 and a Bloodborne 3 or whatever, I have no idea. But
And
and I remember
they'll never come to PC. What a shame.
they probably will. There was also the
They
one guy
haven't
that
yet.
I watch a lot, Colin Moriarty. He was talking about how he knows stuff, I guess, with the games industry. And he was saying something like, "You haven't heard the last of Bloodborne," and that's all he would say. So
Right.
I mean, first off, it would be insane not to make a Bloodborne 2. Like it's so wanted. It's not even funny. Like everybody wants
You
it.
really think it will come to PC at some point?
Oh yeah.
I hope so.
But why?
If
It's been
Sony,
7 years.
if Sony's going to release games like The Last of Us and God of War and whatever on PC, yeah, they're gonna release Bloodborne as well because they own those two. And God of War, like as much as we love From Software games, God of War is still sold way more than Bloodborne, and Last of Us has sold more than I think God of War and Bloodborne combined, and they're coming to PC. I mean, even the Last of Us 1 remakes coming to PC, so like. Sony knows that they can make money if they release a PC version of Bloodborne. All they have to do is make it 60 FPS. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they got to do.
Well, I hope they have some PC control bindings, some keyboard and mouse. Come on. Don't make another Elden Ring port. God. So, were there any performance issues on the PlayStation 2, or is that all just
No.
PC? Wow.
I think there was just like a little bit of pop in at times randomly, but besides that, like, no.
No, I don't
Honestly,
think-
like, I don't want to be some like fanboy of like Sony or whatever, but like most of their games I've played on PlayStation work perfectly fine. Weirdly enough, the only times my PS5 has ever crashed is when I played a first-party PlayStation game.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Very interesting.
Very first game I ever, very first game I ever played on PS5 was Spider-Man Miles Morales. I had a fucking crazy crash on that game, like just crazy. And then this is before I even did YouTube. And then it crashed again when I was playing Horizon, and it crashed again I think when I played like The Last of Us or something. But it never crashed with any From Software
Kind of
game.
hilarious.
Yeah. From Software games have always run perfectly for me. Like I've never really had problems with them.
I mean, they used to run
Like-
pretty good, but then this one is
Like Dark Souls 3 runs like a goddamn dream. Like the PS4 version on PS5, it's like amazing.
Yeah, I think
perfectly fine.
3 ran the best on PC as well.
Sekiro runs like a dream too. Everything. It's all fine. And Elden Ring's fine too. I don't even notice any frame drops, nothing. Like day one playing it. Never crashed, ever got booted to dashboard or whatever. Nothing.
I guess they
Game
were,
ran like a dream.
totally in a hurry when they made the PC version. It's crazy how
I'm pretty
laggy
sure
it
the
was.
PC version is like not the main version that they develop for anymore.
Well, it probably should
remember-
be now.
Two generations ago, the main platform a lot of people were making first on was Xbox 360, and that's why the PS3 version of a lot of games was shit. Like Skyrim, for example, was awful on PS3 because there was some bug in that game where like every time you did something, it made the save file bigger. Like as you just like played the game and did stuff, the save file just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it got so big you couldn't even load it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then in the PS4 generation, the PS4 became like the primary thing most people kind of develop stuff for. And I guess now it's probably like PS5 or something. I don't know.
Does the PS5 have a lot of exclusives? Or
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
really.
Some of them. I mean, like we have like Demon Souls, which is like that. Here's the thing: the Demon Souls remake, if no one's played it, fucking amazing. Plays so
I
well.
think that alone is worth a PS5.
Yeah, when I got the PS5 day one, and I got it with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Demon Souls, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And when I played Demon Souls, so I beat it when it first came out on PS3. Dude, it's so freaking good on PS5. It loads instantly. Everything loads instantly. From the Nexus to any map, you literally click the button and it's just like woo, and you're there, and you're just playing right away.
nice.
Well, it's pretty.
And the way
quick anyways.
the way the DualSense feels when you slash stuff, and you can feel the blade like cutting through their armor, and you can hear it in your little mic. You can hear like the
The
little
haptic
things
triggers
clanging.
are so good.
They're so sick. It's such a good game on that. Oh my god, it's great. Will it come to PC? Probably, hopefully, because like people should play Demon Souls because it's a great game. It's a little obtuse,
I
but it's
can't
fun.
wait. I really should come to PC. That would be great.
Yeah, that game is really really fun, and it looks fucking amazing. It's such a beautiful game.
Yeah,
Oh.
that remake is crazy, isn't it? They got like
Yeah, and
cinematic
apparently the
shit.
people that made the Demon Souls remake, Blue Point, they said that the next game they're working on is much bigger. So a lot of people that I've been reading like rumors and stuff, a lot of people think it's either going to be a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Metal Gear Solid." I think because Blue Point just kind of remakes games, that's what they do. I think generally their next remake, I'm going to say, is probably the first Dark Souls. That's my
I
guess.
would definitely be down for that.
If
They
they-
already
if they-
remastered it. You think so?
Yeah, but like,
That remaster
once,
is I don't like
Sure is.
Once
Yeah.
Dark Souls remaster.
once you play the Demon Souls remake and you imagine that, but Dark Souls, oh my god,
that would be so good because
like
we'd have to spell
and Orlando
cast
looking
again.
like
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be
if they
I'd be
remake
able
it, it'd
to
be amazing.
make a low-level pyromancer that invades everyone and does like crazy high damage. Oh, I want to
Yeah.
do it. I wonder
Yeah,
if that will be
that's what I'm
allowed.
really hoping is their next remake, because I think because like they remade Demon Souls, so they already have the skeleton. You know what I mean? They already have everything pretty much done in the sense. They obviously have to remake the levels and stuff, but the gameplay is already there. So you could just do that. That'd be amazing.
Is it that
Oh my god!
similar?
I'm imagining Manus in like next generation graphics, with all the smoke and stuff and all the oh my god! Or Gwyn, oh my god, be amazing.
Manus is probably already pretty good considering that it's all dark, so you don't really see the smoke as much.
Yeah,
Probably already way ahead of its
like
time.
Ornstein and
Like
Smoke, but
the
it's
little
like,
humanity ghosts, they look a little scuffed sometimes.
Well, they are pretty interesting effect, actually.
just imagine like a realistic looking Sith with a giant sword in its mouth. Oh, it looked beautiful. I would love it.
I actually really like the Dark Souls 1 fur effect.
No, it is good. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
that one
Those
was
games are timeless. They
crazy,
really are.
Yeah,
Really are.
they,
Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 is not,
well, the thing is that they're actually surprisingly not that old. I think they're like after Half-Life 2, right? Or whatever.
2011, yeah.
Yeah,
That's after
Jesus, they're,
Half-Life 2.
they're hardly
I
even 10
still
years
remember
old.
when I
That's
bought Dark
crazy.
Souls 1. I
Yeah.
bought it along with Transformers War for Cybertron and Darksiders 2. Those all came out at the same time.
No, Darksiders 2 is good too.
I fucking love the Darksider games.
Hell yeah.
100%ed all of them. I love those games. Love those games.
Yeah, maybe
But-
maybe we should talk about those at some point. Anyways,
I honestly would love to do a retrospect on those. Those games are. If anyone hasn't played the Darksider games, you can get
I haven't.
Darksiders 1 and 2. You have it? Oh my god, okay.
Whoa.
Darksiders 1 and 2, you can get them. They're like remastered versions, like 60 FPS, 4K, all that stuff. You can get them for dirt cheap with all DLC included. So freaking good. They're like Zelda, God of War, Devil May Cry games.
Oh, nice. Really?
They're
Okay, I'll
so
give it a
good.
shot.
And they're
Oh, yeah,
cheap too.
they're
You can get it for
great.
like nothing.
Did you play the third one? The top down?
Yeah,
one? Was that the third
I
one?
100%ed all of them. The third one's the worst one, but it's still a good game.
Okay.
yeah, that one had bad performance too. What a shame.
It did, yeah. When it first came out, that game was ass when it first played. But play
Oh, really,
Darksiders
too?
1, because that game is so freaking cool. Like, Mark Hamill plays the Watcher.
Oh
You
yeah.
play War. Like,
Wow.
oh. Samael, the like designed it. Oh my, I love those games. It's so much fun. Definitely play them if you haven't played them. But you can get them for like nothing. Like nothing.
All right. I'll
Yeah,
put
they-
it on the list.
And they're not even long. Like Darksiders 1's probably like 15 hours long. Get it for like $10. Get the War Mastered version. Good to go.
Darksiders.
Yeah, I could replay those.
Just look up the art style for those games. Sick.
It's not for sale on Steam. What the fuck?
How much is it on
could be.
Steam?
Oh, you mean it's
What?
not?
Oh,
it's
War
not
Mastered
discounted?
Edition. Oh, I see it. Contains both Darksiders and Darksiders War Mastered. Okay, I see it.
How much
It's
is
not
it?
bad. It's in pesos, so it's like
Pesos.
yeah, 499.95 pesos. So how much is that in
Oh, you have
dollars?
pesos in the Philippines?
Yeah, it's Philippine pesos. Yeah,
Wow.
I have no idea.
yeah
But
it's like what, $5, I think. Or-
$5 for War Mat. Jesus Christ.
Let me see.
Is it
It's
discounted?
$5. Buy it now.
Yeah,
For
that's-
99. Oh, it's $8. It's $9.
$9 for War Mask.
Well, that's how much you said. Jesus.
Listen.
This is all just like an advertising podcast. Buy a PlayStation
Yeah.
5, buy Elden Ring, buy Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
Yeah.
Buy Devil May Cry 5. That was a great game. Go. That's
Devil May
for
Cry
me.
5
That's me
is a great game.
suggesting that. Go play that.
Well, that one you can't
That's,
play that on
Definitive Edition. That's just funny.
Yeah, Darksiders 2 you play as Death, and it takes
Oh.
place before Darksiders 1. And Darksiders 2
Oh.
has like loot and stuff, and actual like skill
Oh.
trees and stuff. And it's like semi-open world, like Zelda style kind of. And there's like dungeons you can explore, and there's like bosses and stuff.
Oh, but this
Yeah.
is an important question. Does Death go, maybe I could use my hammer to break
No.
the wall? Okay,
No,
good.
no,
No,
no. They actually
I think he did actually at some point.
all I know is those games' boss fights are awesome, and the art style in that game is awesome.
Yeah, it is interesting looking, yeah.
Well, he
So
definitely says.
so you play War in the first one and Death in the second. Who do you play in the third one?
Third one you play as Fury,
Hmm.
and then in the fourth, and then there's Darksiders Genesis, which is a top-down kind of Diablo style game.
Mhm.
But it still plays like Darksiders, and in that one you play as War and Strife.
Is that
which is the-
good?
Oh.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. That one you can switch between them.
Oh, is that on PC? Maybe I should try.
Probably.
That
Yeah, it is. It's here on Steam. Yeah.
one. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's called Darksiders Genesis.
Yep.
All those games are amazing. That's if I if anything I can shill, I will shill Darksiders. I don't give a fuck. I love those games.
Okay.
Should we multiplayer? them?
Hijacking the Elden Ring.
Is that possible?
Yeah,
Forget,
hijacking.
forget Elden Ring. Throw the Elden Ring in the garbage. Go back Darksiders and Darksiders 2.
Yeah, I did it.
These
I
are amazing.
convinced you. All right.
We don't care about Elden Ring anymore. This is now a Darksiders discussion.
So
Florian wins.
is that one multiplayer? That latest one, the top-down one.
Genesis, I think it's a 2-player game. Yeah, you play as
wow.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, I love that game too.
Oh, someone should play it with me, I guess.
But definitely play Darksiders and Darksiders 2 because those games are awesome.
Oh yeah, I played them.
Yeah, but if anyone hasn't played those games, those are great. Especially if you like Dark Souls and stuff. Doesn't play like them, but if you like the whole gothic, macabre,
The
gloomy
aesthetic.
atmosphere, yeah, it's really good for that stuff too. So that's my pick. Once I platinum Dark Souls 3, I'm gonna move on to I'm gonna play Stray finally.
Wow.
Ooh, I got a video on that coming today or tomorrow, I think.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, you were talking about
I
the
got, like, a
language
couple
and
more
stuff, right?
minutes. Yeah, the cipher. Like I had the cipher solved in like 5 hours of it coming out. I was like, boom, I want to just do this as quick as I can. But then the
Wow.
video's gonna come like 5 days later. So everyone, who wanted to solve it kind of already did.
It's okay.
So should we talk a bit
late
more?
on that.
Should we talk a bit more about Elden Ring?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to stop?
Oh, what else do you want to talk about it, Florian? That you did not like?
So I want to know, like, in your first playthrough, how much interactions with the NPCs did you have? And was it anywhere as good as in Dark Souls 1 or 3?
I thought people were gaslighting me with Buck.
Who?
I was like, that is not a real character.
Oh, the Seamster? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I couldn't
There's
even
a
find
guy
him the
who
first
dresses a
time.
tree?
Yeah.
no.
So
And
is
then
he
I
real?
looked it up, and he was
Wow.
real.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm talking about ones that you actually found, not ones that you looked up. So
I like Mr. Turtle guy, and I was surprised
Muriel.
about the cool cone hat guy. I completely missed his side quest because I found him in the mountains, and he
Hat
was
guy?
no the cool hat guy,
the one
the
where
samurai,
the one that
Yes.
gets possessed by
samurai
someone.
guy. Yeah, that he gets possessed at the end. I was like, oh, I think I missed something.
Oh, Shura.
Yeah, where,
Yeah,
where, he-
yeah, that-
where,
he-
where he's like, "Oh, you met me before, but now I'm possessed."
Now
No,
in
I
a different
haven't.
person.
No,
Then-
you
and
haven't.
he's-
We haven't met actually. Thanks. I missed out on all the content because there was literally no way for me to find it.
Yeah,
Well, he
I
only
think I
says
missed
the
him.
line of, I'm afraid you're familiar with this vessel. I think he only says that if you've met Shura.
No, I
Which
met
includes
Shura
if he
and
helps with the invasion.
yeah, and the guy with the knife.
Well, you mean Radagon?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Can you summon him for that?
The guy who uses Verduvia.
Yeah, the guy who uses Reduvia. Yeah,
So
he helps you in that fight, and then you talk to him after. Then after I didn't find him, and then he's dead. I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess he actually remembered, but
His
I
quest
don't.
is a little obtuse, but it's cool.
Is there any quest that you're likely to find that isn't extremely obtuse that you can do without looking it up? Other
I
than
think
the
Fia's quest was
volcano.
pretty fair.
Okay, which one?
I think
is that?
Ronnie's was like about as far as I would comfortably go while saying like, oh yeah, this is what I would expect a player to figure out on their own.
Well, how do
But
you
it's like-
find her originally?
Ronnie, she's in a tower.
So, yeah, but that tower is locked. How do you open that tower?
You don't go to Rena's rise first, you go to Ronnie's rise first. And they're right
You kill
next
the
to each other, so
dragon.
like
Yeah. The dragon just shows up and tries to kill you, and
yeah.
that.
Or you can ignore
unlocks-
the dragon, you can run by it.
Yeah.
If you
and
go
Oh,
then-
really?
to Ronnie's tower,
Just-
she's at the top and you like join her covenant. Once you what do you have to do? Once you kill Radon, then Rena's rise opens, and that transports you to the what was it? The other river. I forget what it's called.
Well, actually, you can't even expect a player to figure that one out because I think the whole area is behind an invisible wall, right? Illusionary wall.
No, it's behind the manor, the Caria Manor.
Yeah, isn't the
Yeah.
manor behind an illusionary wall?
Yeah, you can find that. 'cause
The one
that
by
was-
Iji?
Yeah.
You can jump
that was
over
very
that at the
obvious.
side on the horse.
Well, I know, but like you wouldn't know. Like there's other stuff. There's another plateau that you can go up, but you can't possibly jump that one. So I gave up on trying to jump up stuff at some point.
No, but
Are
the
we
entrance
thinking of the
key.
semi-invisible wall? Because that one, there's like a ledge that's like
Yeah,
5 feet long on the other side that you
Yeah,
can jump
yeah, it
over.
is, but I mean, it's still easy to miss. Like,
is
it,
it? Because the big door area thing that was pretty obvious, wasn't it?
I mean, I missed like the whole area where that illusionary wall even was. So, like, I
It
would.
can also come
Okay.
from the other side.
Okay,
Oh, I
well,
did not know that.
I definitely
The other,
missed it on my first playthrough. So, like, any other quest that you
Oh,
would like reasonably
mm,
do,
the
because
main
there's
quest.
also if you
well, that one hardly
take
has any NPCs either.
Yeah,
the
the
path
piss,
through,
the piss.
oh,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
if you take the path through Nokron and get the Finger Slayer blade, I think that also teleports you there. There's like
Right.
a little way gate right next to that.
Well, that one's also really unlikely to be found on the first playthrough because you have to go back to the low level area.
They put a marker on the map in a later patch.
Ah, I guess that's good. Yeah, I mean, I feel
I
like
really like Ronnie's quest. I think it's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty long, I guess. I
She's
still,
testing you if you love her. That's how I treated it. Like, no, don't go further. Then she said, okay, fine, kill this guy. And then, okay, really, that's it. And then I think after that, if you didn't know how to like you get the key from her, right? And that's kind of like okay,
Yes.
that's the weird thing
the
that's like some
statue.
you have to read the item description and figure out it's in the tower. It's in the school to open that
The in
thing. Yeah,
Renala's boss room.
yeah, yeah.
It,
To get the ring.
Now, I think the hardest part of that quest is the doll. If you choose to not rest at the grace that's by the doll,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you have to
That's also
actually like
true.
sit down to see the prompt come up. And I luckily I saw it, but I saw that and I was kind of
Mm.
like, wow, what if I didn't sit down and I just like ignited
You
the
missed
grace and
it.
kept moving?
well,
Yeah.
You
surely you're
lose out
not.
the ending.
Surely you're not telling me that you managed to get like that far into that quest without looking it up, right?
Well, also keep in mind that like I went into Elden Ring like, oh, I'm gonna make videos on this. So I've read like everything I got.
Oh,
So
well, you didn't even
they
play
kind
it
of
once without being unspoiled.
no. I didn't look anything up my first run. I'm saying
Okay.
like the descriptions, like when I picked up an item, I would read it.
Oh,
So
Okay.
EG's dialogue helps a lot. The description on a lot of items helps, and they every step of the quest except for the doll, they give you some sort of hint for.
wow.
The doll I just got lucky for.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost impossible to experience like any side NPCs without looking it up. There was like even when I did like part of Rani's quest, I had to look up to get to her. Then she sends me to this guy who makes the potion. Do you know him?
Celavis, yeah.
Yeah, so I tried. I assumed it would be relatively easy, but he doesn't tell you where the hell you're supposed to bring the potion. Then I went on further in, and then he just
Definitely.
randomly
dies.
died. I,
Um,
it's so bad.
he died for you?
yeah,
No, he can die. Yeah.
yeah. I finally
Yeah,
got.
but at what point in the
I
quest did you proceed to the point that he just like dies? You need the Finger Slayer blade,
oh, you don't
and then
need
him
anything.
and Pidia both die after that.
Oh, he dies pretty without you doing anything. I'm pretty sure.
No, you
Like
have to trigger
Celavis?
it. You have
I,
to trigger it. Yeah, I agree. I think
Yeah.
that's
how do you
correct.
trigger
Also,
it?
the potion they
You have to pick up
kind of
the.
mitigate you not remembering Nephili's name by letting you use the potion on I think 3 different people. It's who is it?
Well,
Nephili,
I
Dung Eater, and
The dung
Ronnie.
eater. Yeah.
I
And
finally
if you use it on
unlocked.
Ronnie, you
It's
insta
over.
die. I think.
Yeah.
Or no. You don't. I forget if she kills you if you do that, but you ruin her quest if you do that.
How do you even use it on her?
You go
Prompt
up to
comes
her
up.
and a prompt comes up and it's like give Celavis's potions. She drinks it. She's like, nah, cool, man. And she kills Celavis and Pidia. And I forget if you instant die if you do that. I know you instant die if you keep attacking her.
Yeah, I never got that far in the quest, and he just randomly died before that.
Yeah, that's a separate quest. It's like Celavis's own quest, and you don't really get much from it. You get a spirit summon depending on who you use it on.
Yeah, so I even looked it up, and it said I had to give it to the guy in the round table, but that door wouldn't open until I killed like 10 more bosses. And then when I finally opened that door, then I came back and and Sylvius was dead. So it was,
Yeah, Gideon's door opens after you get the first Great Rune,
ah,
and that's when you're able to trigger the potion with him. Although doing that doesn't really do anything. Giving it to him, he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, we're gonna prank this guy. I'm gonna say we gave it to her. I'm just gonna throw it out."
Yeah, it's so great that your character needs the actual, like he needs this guy to tell him that he could pour the potion away. You don't think of that? Like, you gotta- oh, it's crazy. I feel like it's so wild that you talk to him and he says, "Bring this person the potion." He doesn't ask, "Do you know who this person is?" And then when you talk to him, he's just like, "Go off, bring the potion."
Yeah, at
It's
least she's in the round table, so it's not like, oh, just find her on a random part of the map. It's like you will walk by her at some point.
oh, is that where she was? I tried to go back
Yeah,
where I found her
she's
originally.
Gideon's adopted daughter, and she's like outside the door.
But there was no prompt for me to give her the potion even then. So what's up with that?
Really?
Yeah,
That's-
maybe he was already dead. I don't know, but
Maybe he was dead, yeah. So that's why he can't give the potion. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's I don't know. I guess maybe
How did he die? That's weird.
maybe I made mistakes, but I mean it's really obtuse, right? There's hardly any.
Yeah, I kind of like the obtuse quest design because then I can go to my friends afterwards and be like, "Oh, I completed this quest. What did you do?" And they're like, "Oh, I did the entirely separate secret ending to that quest." It's just, it's fun to talk about.
Really, your friends actually did the quests too. Is it because
The-
they're YouTubers?
The Ronnie quest, one of my friends didn't sit by the grace and they missed the Ronnie quest. They still like got to the end. They fought Estella and all that, but they didn't get to the Moonlight Grounds and actually unlock the ending. A lot of my friends missed Placidusax, and I think I was the only one that did Fia's quest, but that was because the other guys, they knew that D like dies if you do her quest, and they're like, "He's too cool. I'm not gonna do it."
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I guess I'm just incredibly bad at it because I missed like all the NPCs on my first playthrough. Like
We're also all like very meticulous, like the whole reading every NPC like
Yeah.
dialogue, all the item descriptions we get, all that.
Yeah, I just watched the video. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure
when
I
you do
did it,
when you do
yeah.
stuff like me and V-Limit, you have to read everything and figure it all out and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
I-
I'm very used to like Souls quest design at this point after playing like 4.5 Souls games. I guess Sekiro is like
4.5.
I
or
guess
Demon
they
Souls, so like 5.5.
I guess they
if you count
just
Bloodborne.
really ramped up the obtuseness. Like, oh my god, like there's so much stuff that's so hidden. Like when you upgrade your ashes, your spirit summons, you have to talk
Well, there
like
was-
to the same person like 100 times for her to actually allow that.
Well, there was some really obtuse stuff in the earlier games. And Demian talked about it earlier, how you have to use the dragon prayer gesture after the Osiris
yeah.
boss fight to unlock an ending of the game. There's that whole area in Dark Souls 1, which is locked behind a hidden wall behind a hidden wall.
Right, but I'm
And
talking.
that's where an entire covenant is hidden. On
you're
top of the
thinking
other
of
covenant
Felix
with
Sister.
Nito that you have to find a random grave and rest inside of
I'm just talking about
before
like
fighting him.
like a single NPC that I would have to talk to, like who does like do we even have anything like the Crestfallen who pays attention to what you do in some way?
Vare's very similar to the Crestfallen Warrior. He's kind of like dismissive of you at first, but once you do like a couple of things, he's like, "Oh, meet me here. Oh, good job getting a not Lord Soul, Great Rune."
Is he the one who
Lord
calls
Sister.
you?
So,
Is he the one who calls you
Still
maidenless
in
at
there.
first?
He is the guy who calls you maidenless.
Yeah, I don't think I ever found him again. How do you? Is he in the round table too?
if you go back to his original location, there's
He
a
leaves a note.
like a sign on the ground that says "Meet me by the Rose Church,"
Oh my
and then he's
god.
in Liurnia.
Of course there would be a sign on the ground. Like there's signs on the ground everywhere. Come on.
Well, this one, the developer signs, they like make really bright and they shine upwards. They kind of look like the sun signs in the Radon fight.
Yeah, I guess. I mean that's still easier
Also,
to
his
miss.
phantom like stands there.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I never came back. Guess I should have followed up on the guy who called me maiden.
Cool
What a
guy.
shame.
Not really, but
Yeah. What does he do?
he dies. I mean, everyone dies. But you are actually the aggressor. You invade him at the end of the quest and just like shank him, get his little bouquet of roses.
Then he cries like a bitch.
Moog.
But why? You promised the precious.
You promise. That's
I hate.
what you get.
Maybe I'm just uniquely missing out on all this stuff. Wow. What a shame.
I think
Oh,
you have
well.
a point there, Florian. I'll give you that. I think
All right.
if you're not used to the obtuseness of it, yeah.
I mean, I was used to it. It was more obtuse because the world is just so much larger, you know?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
that makes
think
sense.
V limit. I think you said it like some sort of like journal that gives enough hints or for the player. I think that would be good for the next iteration of Elden Ring. Something like that.
I would be so happy if they just had more, like, factions where not everyone would be hostile. Like I said, like the forest
Mm.
faction in Dark Souls 1 where you go there.
Rat King from Dark Souls 2.
I don't remember that one, but maybe. Just like a bunch of NPCs that you could talk to, and then, but they're not like the main people. But like if there were just small little groups of people, it'd be so good. Like this whole world, and there's hardly any NPCs in it. There's all just like zombies that attack you, I guess.
Yeah, but when you think about
this
it,
is also something
most
that
open world
they
games are like that.
Hmm?
Most open world games don't have a lot of interesting NPCs either. Besides maybe like Witcher 3, most of them are just like vendors or a quest giver maybe, and that's about it. Besides that, they're just kind of like dressing for the map.
I would
Standing around.
I would
Yeah.
die for a quest giver. Okay, there's just like nothing there's no one who tells you anything in Elden Ring. I wish there was quest givers.
I just think there should have been a journal, but besides that, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's Endymion that said it. Oh my bad.
No, it's all
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
Yeah, the journal. Like yeah.
At that time, I was going
small
to take the
journal.
credit for something someone else, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'll leave that as is. I'll be quiet this time.
Yeah. So what would you say? How much could we cut for you to be still okay with the game? Like if we cut like most of the stuff with the horse or most of the dungeons, would that be
I
good?
think in my mind, so you know how like you get the Morning Star in that first area where all the Langdell soldiers, not the Langdell, the Stormvale soldiers are walking around, and that's really cool. I think the problem with the kind of map design that kind of gives frustration to a lot of these people is there are so many weapons and ashes that they think, okay, we're going to make these all dungeon rewards. We're going to put them in caves. We're going to put them in graves. I think they needed to put more of them on the map, like the Morning Star was.
Falls on the map.
The great sword. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
it's in
that?
it's in the ruined carriage area when yeah, that
The Stormvale soldiers where you first
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
Melina.
yeah, a bit after that, you run past them and there's a big troll. They're the dogs.
Yeah.
And it's
Or
in
what?
the,
Or
it's in
was
the
it?
chest there.
Wait, I'm gonna look this up just to fact check myself.
Yeah, no problem, man.
It's just such a weird design that there's like always a dungeon, and at the end there's like a boss, and then there's like some kind of unique loot. It's very
Oh, it's in a
formulaic.
different carriage.
I don't know if
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I like that
Not yet.
formula at all. It's just like so many bosses at the end of dungeons that you're supposed to do, and then there's like so many times it's that stupid dog statue or whatever.
Yeah, that enemy sucks.
So
Yeah.
bad.
The Royal Watchdogs.
Yeah.
I think
That look like
I have-
cats.
I have minor gripes about how they kind of spread out the content, but I think for an open world game, and especially for their first open world game, not much else is really going to capture that word of like exploration and discovery. And that's why I love Elden Ring.
Huh. I mean, I guess it was pretty fun the first time, but I just wish there's got to be so much of it missing that makes it have such bad replay value. Like,
Yeah.
it really didn't need like all of those dungeons. That I mean, I feel like the world would be just so lean and smooth if it didn't have all of those. It just had like only interesting stuff. I'd be fine with there just not being all those ruins, all those dungeon entrances. Like they would be removed so easily, you wouldn't lose much. You just like cut the caves that have like the repetitive stuff in them. You really think
Yeah.
that's fine?
That does make sense. Oh, but I do actually want to see if I can get that Stray video out today, so I don't have too much more time to talk. But I do
Did you
see
like
your
it?
points.
Did you guys
I like it for what it is trying to do. I know not everyone will like it. I've surprisingly heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, this isn't a real platformer. I'm not playing this." And a lot of people think it's too short, but I really like it. Although I'm easily impressed, as our conversation just now might have showed.
Mm.
Wow.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely went quite a while, and
We went 2.5 hours. Yeah, I have to go soon
Yeah.
too because I have to go to my sister's house in a bit.
I had less than 2 hours of footage, so yeah, sorry about that.
Fine.
Talking over
Should have played more.
just
Yeah,
have a
we're just-
picture of like Rykard or something, just like
Well, it was
listen
nice.
to us.
It was nice talking to everyone. Maybe we can do some more stuff. Maybe we can talk about Darksiders at some point.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
That was fun. I would be down for that.
I would play it if
Fucking
you
love
guys
those
were
games.
like.
We'll have to
schedule it.
speed.
Yeah.
Go
Just
through
speed
the whole
through it.
trilogy.
No, I'll be willing to talk again at some point. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I could do that
Yeah, man.
as well.
All right. Well, everyone's in the tags of the video, so you can check out these cool Elden Ring creators that will probably make the game better for you, because you definitely need to have lore explained to you if you're gonna play this game. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a little.
Yeah.
I'll use that
it-
word
it-
again. Obtuse.
Obtuse.
A little bit, yeah.
Yep.
That's why I,
I think
love
that's
it.
But hey, that's good for me.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
More
it-
people
it-
want to
it-
watch the videos.
specifically for
Exactly.
you. It's a
Yeah.
content mill.
it's a content.
I will be.
Yeah.
I will be a parasite for these people who don't understand the game.
Yep.
All right. See you guys some other time.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys. Take care.